Yeah. Hey man, all I'm saying is, nigga, you always got something to say. It's like you don't shut up. On the track.
A lot of niggas died 1865. Single Michael fled high, we ain't gon' let it ride. Everybody hollering black was never on your side. They do maps to tell your apps where you sleep at night. They put that white man on. Got you begging them for answers like that white man know. Had you swearing you was African, that's that white man home. Had you proud to be a savage, that's that white man's zone. And I ain't talking shit, this by definition. If being savage was our nature, y'all be non-existent. We done took your ass out when we was in them kitchens. Instead of showing you how to live and how to maintain business. White supremacy fake. Only way that shit real is if you do what they say. We the guards of the gate, so when they say they fear God, now you know what they made. So dope, my eyes low. When you move like God, the time slow. I came back for the blacks and John Doe's. Crack open them land patents, let go of them townhomes. What's a native to a native? He $5 dough if he not melanated. Pale faces got you waiting on a savior. Sending prayers up, he texting back on vacation. Yeah, God's children. Give all your praise to Jesus, but how God feeling? He say put no one before him in divine image. It's you with God and Christians. I got a vision, but niggas ain't gotta listen, so they don't. We came from the soil, wasn't fucking with no boats. Bible took our spirit, English potted on our homes. Tribal families turned on us, don't act like y'all don't know. But fuck them and they grudges. We was something turned to nothing. And now we nothing's turned to somethings. Reincarnation of ancients, fresh up out the oven. This the message to the black man. 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 Shooters on my roof, lawyers in the coop. We can never die, bitch, we bulletproof. This the message to the black man. This the message to the black man. Say you wasn't slaves, you was prisoners of war. You stop wasting your time, these other bitches ain't important. You ain't meditating, you ain't mating with the sauce. Like what the fuck's a noodle if you ain't painted with the sauce? I find it hard to trust the pastor who rather side with the master, who preaching we should submit while getting murdered and captured. About how we should wait on God is never our vernacular. They get
Suave on the track.
Whatever it takes. Alleyway.
Coco, this your season right now.
They won't see me. They won't let me yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid. Yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid. Yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I put attention, all of my blood, all of my veins. They started with Perky, now that hair right up his veins. You started with serving, now them drugs drove you insane. Started with dealing, I grew up with killers, they taught me the game. I got some niggas that die behind, and that shit won't never the same. I know some niggas that lie behind, and that bullet had his name. Ain't no reason to cry about, cause that shit won't never change. MTF the 4th and P, my niggas can't get out the game. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stern. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid. Yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stern. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid. Yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah.
Lost, see, I glossed too, we shit ain't been the same. Heard the ops talking to the feds, giving names.
Peace and love, man. We got 37 people in here already. I'm gonna need y'all to run them likes up, share the live stream, and let's get it in, y'all. We're gonna get it in.
Yeah, truth can't be told, it gotta be realized. Yeah, man, truth can't be told, it gotta be realized. Freedom ain't free, it ain't legalized. Can't be told, it gotta ain't free, it ain't realized. Freedom ain't free, it ain't realized. Freedom ain't, it ain't legalized. Realize. Freedom ain't free, it ain't legalized. Realize. Freedom ain't free, it ain't legalized. Realize. Yeah. Slavery was a long time ago. How? Same motherfuckers still here right now. Colonized on our own land, they ahead of us. Changed our name so much, they scared of us. Children of the sun, y'all don't compare to us. Pale-faced people, this ain't y'all area. Talking about America, pale-faced people, this ain't y'all area. Even if the playing field, bitch, I'm darn. How you a victim, bitch, you a Karen. Cognitive dissonance, you don't need sperm. You got white privilege, so you don't need sperm. Looking at my homeland, man, I can't believe her. Colonized came here, they ain't never leave her. Indians ain't die off cause we here. You ain't gotta lie, just say you won't be here. How you American but not indigenous? 400 years still ain't get rid of us. All Europeans, naturalized citizens, made all the Indians niggas on the census. 1492, we was on the fences. Civil rights movement, we was so defensive. Black Wall Street, whites got so offended. Common law rights gave us amendments. Think I don't speak truth, that's alright. First slave 1619 was all white. 1200 wasn't no continent, all white. Europe named after a black woman, alright. Grafted, it come from us, do your research. Go within, quit listening to the teacher. And the Nuki got voice coming out the speaker. Cut our trees down and made us weaker. Really they foreigner, the shit gets deeper. Whites don't know where whites come from either. I'm Aboriginal, we come from the ether. Ruling over us in our land, that's evil. Being colonized right now, black people. Prisoner of war, that's why it ain't equal. Wake up everybody, don't be no sheeple. Freedom ain't free, really freedom is illegal. And we can't get mad at this. Whites act like we can't see their advantages. Privileges real, they working in management. Low down dirty, but they calling us savage. They want you to think they above us. All white people are part-time judges. I ain't no racist, but I ain't no sucker. I ain't no African, but they my brothers. Been lied to, I got built up anger. You built everything, still waiting on the savior. Don't call yourself black, please do me that favor. Black tourmaline will protect you from a hater. Listening to your oppressors is dangerous. Gave us a Bible and stole our nation. Said we couldn't read what we didn't know the language. Kept us on paper because we didn't see the danger. American Indian, keep the religion. Skin, copper color, look just like a penny. Wanted our land and you called us stingy. Ain't no Democrats there to get to pay attention. We got ancestors, but the papers is missing. Kings and queens, we just can't remember. Remember who you are, just like Simba. Now they got a vax, we don't want that in us. George Washington was the ninth president, look it up. United States only 10 square blocks, look it up. White people really the minorities, look it up. Courtrooms don't got authority, look it up. You want me, say stop governing me. Gave me a straw man, it's really not me. Why you don't keep it 100 with me? Why Trayvon killer still walk around free? Made this song for the truth, don't hate it. History was told in reverse, I stated. Please still oppress somebody, gotta say it. I'm taking out of school, that's the reason I made it. History, it's his story. History, it's his story. History, it's his story. History, it's his story. It ain't my story. History is.
Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I'm gonna need y'all 46 people, family. Hit the like button, thumb up the video, share the live stream. Let's get right into this last Jammy Jam before we get right into the topic. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Peace and blessings. I want to say grand rising. It's your brother Aboriginal Power, aka Copper.
I'm not crazy at all. Okay, everybody always saying that Dirty is crazy. Dirty is not crazy at all. Dirty just foresee a lot that a lot of people don't foresee.
So nobody could touch mine. The king with aboriginal bloodlines, indigenous wherever the sun shines. I got it covered. We've been discovered the sacred land. Not Columbus, stop the front and you're hating. The niggas was copper color. We the grace.
I don't know if y'all listen to what my man's saying. Make sure y'all drop that again, man. Drop those fire emojis. Listen to these fire bars he came out with.
I swear nobody could touch mine. The king with aboriginal bloodlines, indigenous wherever the sun shines. I got it covered. We've been discovered the sacred land. Not Columbus, stop the front and you're hating. The natives was copper color. We the grace. We embrace indigenous DNA. Ancestors beaten, raped. They captured us. We were slaves, but before we was peaceful people striving. They seen it. Typical colonizer saying all our kindness is weakness, destroying nations. Diminished our history, then erased it. Committed genocide, turned corpses to corporations. Brought more of us on the slave ship. They was taking us for fools, and we still waiting for that 40 acres and a mule. Tell them run that. It's going down like a sunset. A genocide was a setback for major comebacks. I run laps around these lies, speak facts you gotta find, but it's hard to rise because we all trapped inside our minds. So it's time. Then erased it, committed genocide, turned corpses to corporations. Bought more of us on the slave ship, they was taking us for fools, and we still waiting for that 40 acres and a mule. Tell them run that. It's going down like a sunset. A genocide was a setback for major comebacks. I run laps around these lies, speak facts you gotta find, but it's hard to rise because we are trapped inside our minds. So it's time to break the chain, stop fighting and make a change. Different tribes worldwide, united on its terrain, giving game on survival. We passing the truth on how to live off the land and grow natural food. Let's get it.
Your family was here when Columbus landed. Is that right? Yeah. So you are not a black man, you're an Indian. I'm Indian. No kidding. Now this is a shock. We are learning more today. Hey, you look totally black. Yeah, definitely, Indian. Wow, definitely.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my brother King Azir. For those that want to listen to some of the music, go type in King Azir. That's KING AZIR. That's King Azir. Go leave a comment on some of them songs. Let them know that your brother Aboriginal Power sent y'all over there to come rock out, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm gonna take my time out to shout out the people that took the time out to come support the channel. All right. Let me shout out Turney Forlow, Eastside 14, Maurice Miller, Tight Sam, Chief Krabby Overstanding, Haru the Duke of Great Lakes. Shout out to you, brother. Copper Color Nation, Mo Red, Omega, Matthew Simmons, CK, Crown, Darius Matthews. Who else we got in here? We got Empress. Who else we got up in here? We got Orlando. We got Adam. We got Legend of the Naga. We got Ensnot 0407. Kim Lee in the building. Big Chattahoochee Chief John Doe in the building. Who else we got up in here? Aboriginal Phoenix. Shout out to Aboriginal Phoenix in the building. Shout out to everybody tapping in, supporting the channel. Pop Reed in the building. Shout out to Pop Reed. Hey, I ain't gonna hold y'all any longer, man. I want to get straight into this conversation. It's kind of lengthy. I want to kind of get it in and get straight to it, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let me know if y'all can hear everything loud and clear. Hey, shout out to my nigga Big Chief. Fuck you, crackers. You know what I mean? Fuck you, crackers. That ain't in English. That's in indigenous tongue. You see how it's spelled. Fuck you, crackers. It ain't what you think it is. It got a whole nother meaning to it. Shout out to my nigga Big Chief. Fuck you, crackers. My favorite name on YouTube right now. Shout out to bruh. Drop those fire emojis. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Let go.
And what we do, we allow this cancer of systematic white supremacy to keep spreading. And the first step into eradicating the cancer is to acknowledge that it's a cancer. We really got to understand the power of acknowledging problems and not just sit around and let things fester. It's very important to understand that dynamic. Let me get a couple of y'all in here real quickly because I want to chop it up with the family early on. Let me get Malcolm the Mayor in here. Shout out to Malcolm the Mayor. What's up, Malcolm? Malcolm the Mayor. Turn your microphone on, Malcolm. Oh, what's up, player?
What's good, Tariq, man? What's popping, man? FBA all day, baby.
All day. Are you still in Atlanta, Malcolm?
Yeah. I'm in the A, man. I'm in the A. We met one time back in the days with your man. What's your man name that used to rap from College Park?
Was it Snow?
Snow, yeah. This is a minute ago,
I remember we kicked it with you out here. I remember.
Yeah, what's good? Hey, I just wanted to say something real quick, and I'm out, man. I'm in the A. I've been out here since the 90s, like 98. Yeah. And when I first touched down out here, man, I had an infatuation with these Ethiopian women. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like,
hey, shout out to my people in the A, man. This is the Wake and Bake Show. I forgot to reiterate, this is the Wake and Bake Show. So light up them woods, just get straight into it. Y'all know how it is. FBA Aboriginal stand up. You understand me? It's a lit ass chat. Shout out to Big O, man, the 6-finger giant in the motherfucking building, man.
Damn, and the first warning I was getting from the blacks, my black people was like, yo, they don't rock with us like that. Then I would see that when I would go out at night and all of that, man. Like you would see the Ethiopian guys with the black women, but you would never see a black man with an Ethiopian woman. But they would come to our clubs, parties, rock with us, party with us, but as far as relationships and all that, you would never see that. That's all I wanted to say, bro.
Real? Thank you, bro. Yeah, they've been on that for a long time. Yeah, and this is the thing. A lot of people are complaining that foundational Black Americans are kind of marking our line in the sand as far as our culture. But other people have been on this wave for a long time. They've been on this divisive thing when it comes to us and this exploitive thing. And now that we're calling it out, you know, they want to cry foul. But they've been doing this stuff, man. This is nothing new. And now that we as foundational Black Americans, we're not allowing ourselves to be invisible. The name of the game is for foundational Black Americans to act as if we don't really exist so that we can act as the glue for other cultures. You understand? We're supposed to be invisible. We're supposed to be a non-entity that glues every other culture together. So everybody from different cultures, they're supposed to be allowed to acknowledge their specific cultures and lineages, but not us. When we do it, all of a sudden, it's divisive. I want Black folks to get off. Don't be afraid. Foundational Black Americans, do not be afraid to acknowledge and honor your specific lineage. As foundational Black Americans, we have a unique lineage that other people do not have, and that is not divisive to acknowledge that. It's us paying respect and honor to our specific lineage because we got two.
See, it's a problem when we embrace who we are. These people come over here from all of these other fucking places besides America, flying their flags, throwing up in their face how beautiful and how pure they shit is. Bullshit. You wouldn't be here in our shit. So pay respect when you're in America. This is our shit. And we take pride in what we have built here. Period. And we're going to embrace that. We're going to constantly keep promoting and stamping what is ours and what is part of our culture. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You know, but we got to be aware. Once we embrace it, you must know it's going to be turmoil from these other so-called Blacks. They do not like it when you embrace who you are and where we are and where we at this point in time. So shout out to the foundational Black Americans and Aboriginals. We got 115 already in the chat. Hit the like button, share the live stream. Let's continue this.
Many people disrespecting our lineage. Y'all disrespect our icons. Some of y'all people come over from these other cultures, like Nicki Minaj and Rihanna doing all of these little slick memes about foundational Black American icons. Stuff like that, we just have to check. The Cynthia Eribos and all of these people, when they show contempt for foundational Black American culture and then white society elevate them to portray some of our icons, unacceptable. Unacceptable. Not gonna have it. And yes, we did make noise about Cynthia Erivo, who spoke very negatively about foundational Black American women. If y'all remember those tweets that everybody was exposing where she was up here cacaing and kikiing with the little white zaddies, talking about she speaking in her ghetto American girl voice, all of these little pejorative negative terms thrown at foundational Black American women. And then she wants to play one of our icons, somebody that Harriet Tubman would have shot her ass. Harriet Tubman wouldn't rock with her. And we're not going to let people do.
A lot of your grandmamas wouldn't have rocked with her. Yeah, don't get it twisted. What they portray Harriet Tubman as, your grandmamas was really like that you really lived up under, that you really got to see. Grandmamas then really popped off. Okay, don't get it twisted. Harriet Tubman was not the only one that was like that. Go look in your lineage. Talk to your great aunties. Talk to your great uncles or how your grandmama then was. They probably popped a few niggas. Okay.
Disrespect our icons, because let's be clear, if one of us tried to play one of their,
I know tons of old black melanated Aboriginal ancestors and family members that got busy in their day. You understand?
Icons, they call us out. Right now, they got some white dude, not white dude, but he's a mixed dude. He's not Caribbean. He's mixed with something. I forgot what he's mixed with, but they're going to have him play Bob Marley, and boy, they're crying foul. They're like, hey, how come you couldn't get a Jamaican to play him? How come you couldn't do this? How come you wouldn't do that? So they don't like any other people from another culture representing their icons at all. But we're supposed to sit back and let everybody just extrapolate all of our cultural icons and remix it and flip it and disrespect our icons. So no, we're not going to let that happen. That is what it is. All right, let's see who we got here. Let's get Proudly African. Proudly African. Hop on, sir.
Hey, Tariq.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm good. I'm pretty popular among your folks' spaces, so they know me. They don't like me. They don't want to hear me talk. But I'm glad you accept my request this evening. So,
yeah,
my real question is, with the whole movement of the FBA thing, and apparently this is separating specific group of people from other blacks, right? But on the other side, you talk about fighting against white supremacists or whatever system they got going on against y'all. Don't you think that you as a person or whatever interest you represent, like you are becoming the same monster that you are campaigning against, which is trying to segregate yourself as a foundational Black American?
This is progression. This is projection. Before this whole FBA or standing up as Aboriginal movement, we was collective and agreeing with all these melanated people. We accepted all Black people. So that is a lie. Okay?
Like you're superior to other Blacks.
Okay, let's stop right there. That's a projection.
Get his ass, Tariq.
And that's your own inferiority. That's your inferiority. I have never said, nor has any other person I know said, that they are superior, because we are not. We're all victims of white supremacy. You, sir, are projecting a complex you have because you feel inferior.
No, I don't.
Hey, it's all love, DJ. I'm gonna need you to come on in a second. So when I drop that link, that's gonna be strictly for DJ. Shout out to my DJ in the chat.
Sir, that's the complex that you're projecting, because
I was asking a question. I'm very comfortable with my own skin.
Sir, you weren't asking me a question. You projected a statement saying that we feel like we're superior, and we don't. I've never said that, sir. That's your insecurity because you had to flee your homeland, and that's not.
There we go again. There we go again. What makes you feel you are more American than me? What makes you feel you're better than me? That's my point.
Wait. This nigga talking with the Nigerian accent, eating fufu, asking why are we more American than him? Bitch, cause we the foundational here. We been here. We ain't all get brought on slaves, ships, nigga. Most of the motherfuckers been here. So if Africans did come, they mixed with the people who really built the shit here and joined the motherfucking process. Understand me? This nigga, they want to be us so bad. Listen, they said, what makes you more American than me? Bitch, co is. You want to be an American, but talk shit about America so bad. Motherfucker.
Wait, no, you asked me two things. You said, what makes me feel like I'm more American? And then you said better. Now let's tackle that. I don't think I'm better than you, because we are both victims of white.
But we really are better than them. I mean, I'm not trying to toot our own horns, y'all, but you FBA and you Aboriginal brothers and sisters are better than most Blacks around the world. Not just because we have this type of pride, it's because contribution, sheer fight. You know what I'm saying? We are one of the few people on the planet that deals with this fight and does not run from our homeland. That is something to take pride in.
Supremacy. We're in the same boat. I am more American than you because I am a foundational Black American.
What is a foundational Black America?
You know exactly what a foundational Black American.
No, you're projecting a false information and false narrative out there. And the crazy thing is,
okay, you cannot tell me about my lineage and you don't come from it. So you're going to pump your brakes right there, sir. You, somebody who fled from their homeland, can't tell me anything about my homeland, which is this land here. Okay, so that's where you're going to have to stop.
Well, your claims are not legal.
Okay. Okay, sir, you brought your janky phone over here with you.
There you go again, trying to be arrogant and rude like always.
Okay.
Can't you just
how the fuck are you an American if you're in Africa? If you're from Africa, you openly say that you're an African, but then gonna ask me why are we more American than him? You're an African, bro. Like you literally just ate some fufu and some butter rice. You understand me? You niggas still slapping the djembe this morning. You understand me?
Going to do, you're going to shut that mouth of yours, Mbutu, and you're going to listen. You're not going to come over here talking crazy. All right? You're going to pump your damn brakes. And people are sending me tweets of you right now where you've been all in these rooms talking crazy with your jealousy and envy. Okay? You're not going to.
Yeah, they done already called your little starving ass out. Bishop Tudu.
Do that.
We got Bishop Tudu over here mad because we American. Man, go sit your ass down, Shaka. Moontubu. You know what I'm saying?
Now, your people know me. They know me.
You say your people know me? Your people know me? Boy, we don't know your motherfucking monkey grabbing ass. The motherfucking gorilla grips on your motherfucking hand. Boy, nobody know your ass. We black Americans, bro. We built shit. We ain't over here trying to, you know what I mean, figure out how old you are in blue moons and shit. Nigga, we on some other shit. We builders. We are the face of America. We are the face of successful melanated people around the world. When they think of successful, smart, strong, encouraging, influential melanated people, they go straight to America. They don't go to Zimbabwe, Nigeria, none of them motherfucking places.
You're not new in the spaces, so you gotta stay put.
But you're gonna shut that mouth, brother. Get you a plate of jollof, sit down, and relax.
And get you a fucking plate of jollof.
Let me educate you, because I don't want to hear anything you have to say if you fled. There's nothing you can tell me if you fled and abandoned your homeland. So you're not in a position to give me any constructive advice on anything, sir. So all
you need to be educated, because you put out a lot of false information, things you don't know about.
Sir, you fled and failed your homeland. All you're doing is projecting, okay? You can't tell me anything about nothing. And what you're doing is
you have no idea about Africa. You have no knowledge of.
Sir, I know you fled. I know you fled. I know that much, sir. And
no, I did not. No, I did not.
These motherfuckers don't like y'all. I'm just gonna keep it real. And it ain't just y'all did nothing. They don't like the fact that you're an American. They don't want you to be the nigga in America, the token nigga American. You know what I'm saying? They want to be the lapdog for the white man in America. We not the, but that's what they got confused. We're not the lapdog. We don't fuck with the white people in America like that. Y'all the one coming over here kissing them, hugging their legs. Y'all like blood diamonds. Y'all just over here on some wild ratchet shit. You know what I'm saying? We don't fuck with the white man like that. Y'all want to be up under the white man. We trying to get the fuck away from him. Y'all trying to integrate. We're trying to segregate. You understand me? We have different outlooks. That means in overall, we're going to have different ideologies for success and overall goals for our people. You're not going to have the same goals for my people. That's going to be beneficiary for my people. You want to be with the white man. We're trying to get away from this fucker. You trying to be up under his rule. We trying to rule the shit like we once did. You see what I'm saying? You trying to help pay them. We trying to make them pay us for the shit that they. Do you see what's going on? Y'all run over here and be right up under the white man. The white man.
Calm down and stop being emotional.
How about you address the issue I just outlined?
How about
highlight out there?
How about you take off your kente cloth thong and be a man and talk?
Take your kente cloth thong on with your dashiki crop top.
Like a man and stop being emotional.
I'm talking like a man. I'm not being emotional. I need you to address what I just pointed out, Tariq. Stop acting like a lady. That's feminine.
So stop it, sir. Are you that dancing Nigerian dude on TikTok?
No, I'm not. How about you
stop acting?
He said, no, I'm not. No, brother. No, brother, I am not the decent TikToky nigga. No, brother.
Like him then. And be a man. Now, you're not going to run your mouth in my space. It doesn't work like that. You're going to show respect.
Stop muting me, Tariq. Let's have a conversation.
I'm going. No, you're not going to run your damn mouth.
Go ahead and address what I say.
Right. This is not the immigration office, sir. You're not just
right. Ain't argue your point or why you should be in America. This ain't the immigration office, sir.
going to come in here running and barking out demands. It doesn't work like
you African Akata. You are Akata. We are prince and princesses.
Yeah. Now,
first of all, what the fuck is this question? Why are you more American than me? Is that even a logical question, bitch? Like, so how the fuck do I answer that?
Sir, I am more American than you because my family built this country that you fled to.
Thank you, Tariq. That was very well put.
Do you understand that?
I mean, I respect the struggle of the African descendants of slaves and all the things they gone through. I respect that. That is no doubt. Like I'm not like going that way.
So why the fuck ask why we more American then? Because y'all didn't go through none of that. Y'all wasn't here to build that. You came afterwards willingly, fled your country after getting beat by Butt Naked them. General Butt Naked came through your city and you left.
Respect that. I respect the struggle. I respect everything. But what I don't like about your movement is you are creating more division than trying to like unify.
That's a projection.
How are we creating division when y'all come over and saying we're not African nor American? We're not African at all. I'm Nigerian. We're not the same, brother. You are lazy Akata. We're not the same, bro. Like y'all want to be us and include yourself with Black Americans when it's beneficiary to y'all, and when we say we not y'all and y'all not us, it's a problem. But y'all can say we not y'all. Like it's double standards with all these melanated people around the world. That's not a foundational or Aboriginal American. It's double standards every time, and we got to call it out. You know, we got to start standing up for our shit. We cannot allow any of these people to project any of these type of lies and fallacies, whether in a small conversation, an open forum, or a dialogue behind the scenes. You got to put these people in check. Okay.
You are already divided in your homeland. Over there where you fled from, y'all have a gazillion different ethnic groups and tribes that's all bickering with each other. And you're bringing.
Well, I seen when a lot of the Pan-African brothers and sisters ideology was strong, they was running around saying the Pan-Africans like we African, son, you know, all that little movement. You should see the uprise of Africans saying, no, you're not African. They didn't like that you called yourself an African. So now that you're not an African, you saying that you're not an African, now y'all got a problem with it. But you just told us that we wasn't like that's what I'm saying.
That same energy here. That's a projection.
This nigga Black Jesus said General Butt Naked was a gangster. So we don't have those type of gangsters, sir. We don't have generals running around butt naked, eating children and grown people. Okay? He was a cannibal. We don't have those type of gangsters, sir.
Do you understand?
And I hope that ain't your definition of a gangster in Africa, Black Jesus.
And that.
Are you telling me that the foundational Black Americans, are you telling me that they are united as one? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we are.
Really? So what's with
foundational Black Americans are just.
Look, he mad that he said that we hey, no freaky J Rock. Hey, this nigga mad that Tariq said, yeah, Black Americans are all one. We all one people. But he ain't like that.
Generally all on code with each other. We don't do that type of bickering.
Why do we even care? You're an African, bro.
That y'all do
on code?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
On code? This nigga sound like Chicada. They have stripped the power of the Black Panther today.
Now you bugging. I was thinking Israel for a minute, but now you're more of a joke to me. Did you just say on code? The other night, Tara was like having you tuck your tails in your ties, running away, trying to act like the tech issues and all.
Okay, just stop trolling and saying anything. Nobody had tech issues. Stop pretending somebody was one-upping somebody. This person called up making a fool of themselves, and they know it. And you're being disingenuous. So now you're
stop muting me, Tariq.
No, you're going to get an education. because you're coming in here lying and scamming, which is part of that culture that has messed up your homeland. And you want to bring your same lying, scamming mentality over here to us. And we're just not allowing that, sir. Is that what you're upset about?
The only thing I want to bring here is the request for you to enlighten me about your movement, which is fraudulent. You're defrauding the gullible.
Another projection. Because you scam and scheme and cut each other's throats back home, you're projecting your scams and schemes onto us. All you're doing now is projecting your scam mentality. Everything you're doing is a projection, which is the reason why we are acknowledging our culture being separate, because we just don't have such a scamming mentality like that. That's why you're projecting so much, sir. And
no, I'm not projecting anything.
Yes, you are.
I'm spitting facts, and I'm saying that whatever claim you're trying to put out there, it is illegal. It is a fraudulent claim.
What are you talking about? What's illegal? You're saying anything right now. You're like an emotional baby mama. You're just saying anything that not.
FBA is illegal. It's not recognized in the American Constitution.
How is FBA illegal? What are you talking about?
Why is he so mad? He said FBA is so illegal in America. You FBA Aboriginal are illegal. The fuck?
Just elaborate on that and stop being emotional. How was FBA?
This nigga don't even know what the hell law is, nigga. You won't even know what's legal over here. You barely legal. Your green card might expire if your ass wasn't anchored here.
Illegal.
And if on the sound of it, you wasn't anchored here. You must be on the visa, nigga. Your ass is on the visa, and that bitch expire in 72 hours.
Explain
why it's illegal, because as far as the American law or constitution or whatever laws that guide you as an entity in on American soil, the title of FBA is not recognized by your own government. And secondly, why have you refused to answer
how the African gonna say FBA is illegal? Like, what the fuck does that mean? What? How is that illegal?
Okay, you just did some nigger babbling right now.
He just said he did nigger babbling.
You're nigger babbling. So you're saying us acknowledging our foundational Black American lineage is illegal because it's not recognized by the government? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that FBA is a record.
Okay, is illegal because it's not recognized by. Understand that.
I mean, I respect the struggle of
working like this,
you're trying to put out there. It is. And secondly, why have you refused to answer
Okay, you just did some nigger babbling right now. You're nigger babbling. So you're saying us acknowledging our foundational Black American lineage is illegal because it's not recognized by the government?
Here they go with that government shit.
Government, the government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, it's the government. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that FBA is a record.
Okay, you are a moron, and I refuse to further discuss anything with somebody who's moronic. You're just emotional and moronic, and I'm going to let you go because you're not saying anything constructive. You're just babbling for attention. All right. Now, family, you see how easy that is when you're talking to somebody who's a moron, who's just emotionally babbling. Understand, you have no obligation to entertain morons. So you just let them go. When people just come around you saying anything and then babbling, these people just want attention. You just want to feel relevant. And it's not our job to give you any form of relevancy. We got to let people wither in the dust like they're going to do anyway. All right. I'm not trying to entertain emotional tether babble. All right. Let's Let's get some more people in here.
That nigga said he was talking crazy. No, Ahmad Belton, he made no sense at all.
All right.
I don't even know what his point was.
People here. A lot of people here.
Hard rock. I don't use the word black. I mean, I use it for the brothers and sisters that's freshly coming into this information that doesn't understand what an aboriginal or what a foundational American is. So, but we understand where my FBA brothers is, and I know and I recognize who my people are. So, besides the descriptive terms and the classifications that European pressed upon us, I know who my people is, stripped of all the names, you know, minus the names, you know. So I just want to make that clear. I don't use the term black as a social status. I go by the name of Aboriginal Power. I've never went by any other name while I've been on YouTube besides this, and I've only promoted, pushed, and elevated and educated on Aboriginal history, okay, which is also misclassified as Negro history and Black history. Okay, so we incorporate it all. If it's mine, I'm stamping. Okay,
and I'm not here for the emotions. Let me explain how this thing works over here. We have constructive dialogue. If you have an issue or if you want clarity, that's fine. We're here to talk issues and clarity. What you're not going to do is call up projecting your scam mentality, projecting your emotions, making up a bunch of straw man arguments, and whining like a punk. We're not going to have that. I'm not. All right, while I'm waiting on that, let's get France in here. Let's get France.
Hey, we got 261 people in here. I want to ask y'all to run and thumb up the video, like the live stream, you guys. You understand me? Hit the like button, share the live stream, share the live stream. I can't, you know, emphasize that enough. Hit the like button, share the live stream. If you're new to the channel, feel me, hit the subscribe button. Appreciate everybody for tapping in this Grand Rising. We're gonna continue this live stream.
France, turn your microphone on. Hello, France. Okay. Let's get these microphones working like they're supposed to work. All right, let's get John Recane. Let's get him in here. All right, let's try this. If your microphone is ready, raise your hand, because I don't want a bunch of people with janky phones requesting to get on and your microphones aren't working. Why don't you download some updates for your iPhone 1? All right. All right, if you're ready to talk, let's get busy. All right, let's try this person. Spare change.
Hi, Tariq.
Okay, hold on. Is that John?
Yeah, this is John over here.
Okay, John, what's going on? What's happening with your phone, sir?
I don't know, man. I was just muted a bit there. I had to unmute myself. Anyway, I just want to say.
There you go. Go ahead.
I'm from South Africa over here, and I just want to say that I'm proud of the work that you guys are doing over there, man. It's really high time that, you know, foundational Black Americans start speaking for.
I told y'all yesterday that the South Africans appreciate what we're doing because they use the method that we used during Civil War, right? During apartheid. They use that same method to fight against their apartheid situation. You understand me? So we got to understand as Americans, we gotta understand who do acknowledge us and who recognizes us. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, the South Africans definitely appreciate the work over here. I very rarely hear South Africans talk bad about Black Americans unless it's one that's projecting or lying, portraying as a South African. Okay, but you know, we just got to keep it real when keeping it real. You feel me? Someone said, I'm proud of Sai too. Who the fuck is Sai? Who the fuck is Sai? Hey, can y'all hear me loud and clear? I have to check that out. Yeah, check it out. From most of the shit that you hear from albums, oh yeah, we appreciate y'all. Listen to where they from. Listen to where they tell you that they from.
Your phone, brother. Your phone. Oh. Okay, I have you call back, brother. We got to work on getting your phone, brother. All right, spare C, turn your microphone on. Unmute your microphone.
You talking about Sinetta?
Oh, yo, what's going on, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Spare. How are you, brother?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. Yes, I've been following this whole diaspora war thing going on, man, or whatever you call it. And you know, I'm pretty split here. So I'm personally, I'm African, man. Grew up in America though. So,
and where's your family from?
Zambia.
Zambia. Okay.
Yeah. So you know, I see both sides, right? You know, you're very right in saying that. You know, people from Africa, some do tend to be racist, but I mean, you know, growing up, it's there's always been a tension between African and American-born, you know, FBAs, right?
So, but here's the thing. Even if there's a tension, even if there's a tension between the two, there's only been a benefit to one group. You see, so other groups still benefit, even if there's some tension. The other groups still benefit from foundational Black Americans. We get the tension without the benefit. We don't benefit from the other groups at all.
But we get the tension, right?
And that's the issue. And the tension is getting greater now. So we're already not getting any benefits from it. So we're like, okay, damn, there's only so much tension we're going to tolerate from these groups that we're not benefiting from anyway. So a lot of the tether class, not the masses, but the tether class who comes over with these anti-FBA ideologies, we're just checking that. We should have been checking it a long time ago, but it's gotten to the point now where it's getting a little more serious, because a lot of things that we're trying to do as far as get tangibles for ourselves, some of these outside groups are just going overboard with undermining us at this point. So we're not getting benefits and we're being undermined.
So when you say undermine, so I saw that you posted videos of like Sam Acho, etc. You know, non-FBAs that are here undermining the movement. So I guess my question is, you know, when you say that you guys are taking action and checking, what is your course of action? Like, what do you want to see from Africans coming here?
What we're doing now, what we have to do now is separate riffraff behavior. That's what we're doing now. So a lot of times when people come over from the Caribbean, from Africa, if they do something constructive, they go out of their way to differentiate their constructive activity from foundational Black Americans. So if somebody comes over here and gets a PhD, oh, I'm the first Ghanaian American with a PhD. It's a Ghanaian thing.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, with some of these politicians, they're saying, well, this is the first Haitian American congresswoman here, the first Jamaican American congressperson there. So if it's positive, they separate themselves from us. But if it's negative, they just dump it on us. If somebody comes over from Jamaica, the Caribbean, or Africa, and they are robbing banks, well, it's just Black people robbing banks. So they get lumped in with us, and then we have to walk around with that stain on us. For example, out in New York right now, there's a lot of crimes by Caribbeans going on in New York right now. They got something, that drill music thing, that whole drill music where the mayor's talking about, they're making a big thing about cutting down on drill music videos. Now, almost every single one of those dudes are non-FBA, every single one of them. But that type of activity gets thrown in the black pot. And then when there's pushback and when there's certain type of laws that are supposed to combat that, then it becomes a stop and frisk against all Black people. See, we got to get in front of that. So stuff like that, we're saying, hey, we're going to have to differentiate ourselves from some of the riffraff behavior, because we are a distinct culture as foundational Black Americans. And other people, they acknowledge their culture. We don't complain. They shouldn't complain when we acknowledge our distinct lineage. That's all we're saying.
No, I think you guys are well within your right to claim that distinction. And it's actually interesting that you say that. So a lot of the conversations I've heard with you have been unproductive. You know, it's just African people coming on trying to beef with you. I'm just trying to figure out where you're coming from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's actually an interesting point that you bring up, that, you know, you guys get tied into the BS that happens with, you know, African people committing crime, et cetera, and they see us as a blanket, whereas, you know, when it's success, you know, there's, oh, I'm Haitian American, et cetera.
Exactly.
Now,
I'm just trying to clear the air.
See, it's double standards, right? So listen, these Nigerians and these other people come over here and they cloak under black, right? When it's convenient for them. But now let's look at it when they reach success after whatever they done went through. They become that's a Nigerian doctor. That's a Senegambian lawyer. Do you see what I'm saying? They're no longer black when it's success or when it's beneficiary. You know what I'm saying? But when it's negative connotation, they'll cloak under black. And we get the gripe of it. Let them scam. All black people scamming. It's no longer the Nigerian, the Senegambian. You feel me? That's how it goes, man. They double standards. And we can't allow that. We're catching the background from
on who's who and who's really doing what, because we're just going to have to keep the same energy across the board. If people want to say, because people have no problem separating themselves from us as long as it's positive. People go out of their way to separate themselves from foundational Black Americans. People have been doing that. So now that we want to take some of our positive achievements and say, okay, this is us. Now people are like, hey, wait a minute, we all one. Don't do that. That's divisive. We're all brothers. So no, we got to keep the same energy all across the board. We got to keep that same energy.
No, okay, I get it.
Okay. But thank you, brother. Much respect to you, brother. Yeah, that's what we on, family. It's all about the same energy. It's all about keeping energy. Every other group, if you want to do positive things within your group and chop it up as a win for your group, we're doing the same. And we have a right to do it, and nobody should complain. The fact that we're doing it, people are having hissy fits. This fool talked about, listen how emotional that first dude was, because so many people, they've leached off of our lineage and culture for so long, they feel entitled. Now that they're being excluded from that, now they want to cry foul. And we're not obligated to sit here and pretend that we are invisible. Foundational Black Americans, we are not invisible. We have a unique lineage on this land that no one else has. And there's nothing wrong with us acknowledging that. We are not invisible. Let's get some people up here. We look like we got it. Do we have a Trump supporter here? This is interesting. Where is he? What happened to him? Some guy had some Trump stuff on his thing. The Trump guy, I want to get you back on here. There you go. Hold on. That was quick. Here for Trump. Is that your name? Hello, here for Trump.
And from.
Oh, here for the comments. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm looking at a Trump sign on your page, and your pink is a dog.
Yeah, dog peeing on Trump. Yeah.
Oh, okay. There we go. I thought
I'm not a Trump supporter, so if you mislabeled me and I'm good to back off and let anybody else talk.
Oh no! I thought that I saw the sign. I didn't see the dog peeing on the sign. I thought it was a Trump supporter.
I thought it was fun.
That's. Oh, okay. All right. So what's your name, sir? Where are you from?
My name is Glenn. I am from South Carolina.
Glenn, a white man, I guarantee you.
There you go. So what's on your mind, sir?
Are people confused about racism is what I jumped on this to talk about, I guess. But
yes,
I don't think they are, to be honest. I live in South Carolina, like I said, and there's a lot of goddamn racists around here. Right. And they're easy to let you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll just let you know in a heartbeat. But I don't know where I'm going to go with it other than to tell you I'm not racist.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. All right.
Let's get Harriet Tubman's pistol. Harriet Tubman's pistol. Let's get Harriet Tubman's pistol on here.
Tariq.
What's up, family?
I'm thoroughly blessed. I just first wanted to start this off by saying I really appreciate what you're doing for us for FBA, and you really a blessing to us, and I really look up to you. I just wanted to let you know that.
Much respect.
All right, and I want to stay on topic. So, are people confused about racism? No, they're willfully ignorant about racism. A lot of our people, especially people who supporting Joe Rogan, they're suffering from the safe Negro syndrome. All right. They want to coon in peace.
Yeah.
I call it crackatosis. You feel what I'm saying?
So they can continue benefiting off the association with whiteness. That's what's really going on. And
niggeritis and crackatosis.
I feel like as far as the diaspora, like you said, people have been eating off our plate for so long. We personally have nothing left, but they starting to steal anything that we have, whether it's water, clothing, all of that. And we saying no more. And other people get to call themselves, they get to delineate themselves, calling themselves Ethiopian or Jamaican or what have you. But as soon as we do it, it's a problem. It's only a problem because y'all benefiting off of us so much that it's getting to a point where we're going to be out here destitute politically or what have you, more so than we already are. And that just shows how much that they don't care about us, that we want to make this distinction so we can get a justice claim that's clearly owed to us 100 times over. But y'all want to prevent us from doing that. But you all want to separate.
These foreigners don't give a fuck whether or not we get what's owed to us. As a matter of fact, they don't think that we deserve anything. They tell us we haven't built anything, that we are lazy, and then farther go to say, why do we need reparations? Restitution, restoration.
Ourselves, like you said, when it benefits you, but just throw all the baggage on us to keep us down and keep us the bottom caste in America. And we're saying no more.
Absolutely, my man. I appreciate you. Thank you for the call. Thank you so much.
Shout out to that caller, man. He really was on cold with a lot of things. Shout out to that brother.
And Shells, if you want to turn your microphone on, but my brother made some very good points. We are not invisible. Again, a lot of groups want us to sit here and be invisible for our own interests so that we can help facilitate their progress. That's been the whole game. That's another offshoot and extension of slavery, ladies and gentlemen, where we as foundational Black Americans, we're supposed to sacrifice our own self-interest by working to benefit others. Every group wants us to be in that slave mentality when it comes to dealing with them. We don't get nothing. We're the sacrificial slaves. Our job is to sit here and just make sure everybody is good while we are a non-entity. That's not going to happen. We've done that long enough, and we've done it thinking that, okay, well, somebody's going to ultimately reciprocate. Ultimately, some of these other groups are going to be so appreciative of us working for them and doing so much for them that they're going to reciprocate one day. And that reciprocation has never come, and it's not coming. So we're going to look out for ourselves. And other people sitting around talking about how divisive that is, that's hypocritical. It's extremely hypocritical, because when we start pointing out, you've already divided yourselves from us as a group, because we don't benefit from nobody. We don't get any benefits from any other group. They're not even trying, to be honest. They're not even trying to extend anything tangible.
Hey, we got 317 in the chat. We almost about to hit an hour marker. So make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all thumb up the video, share the live stream. For those that want to support, don't forget, we're still pushing the dollar challenge. That's for all Aboriginal platforms, and now included the FBA brother platform. You see them go live, support their channel for their time and content that they putting in, especially which is about getting our brothers and sisters on code. Support the channel. If y'all want to send a hefty donation, links ticking at the bottom of the screen. Make sure y'all share the live stream so we continue the live. Let's get it, man. Drop those fire emojis in the chat. You're a proud Aboriginal FBA that's standing up and getting on code without having to say it. I see y'all already doing. Shout out to y'all. Drop those fire emojis in the chat.
To foundational Black Americans. And hell, even the thought of it, if you bring it up, it's like, you niggas are preposterous for even thinking that we're supposed to do something for you. Yet we're supposed to put the capes on and these weak shaming tactics, that doesn't work. Just running around yelling xenophobia and you're divisive, and that doesn't work. And what they have to do, they have to keep creating straw man arguments that don't exist. Notice whenever people hop in who are naysayers, they always create these straw man projective arguments that none of us have made. They come in here talking about, oh, you think you're superior than us. You said, you know, that's a straw man argument because they cannot deal with reality. The reality is they're going to have to do for themselves because we can't sit here and put the capes on for them.
I see y'all standing up in the chat too. I see y'all standing up.
I grew up in a different kind of multicultural environment where I have, you know, me being Black in Italy, and then I have my Ethiopian community, like East African, I would say, community, and then you have the West African community and the American community, because where I'm from, we have the NATO base, the Army base, especially in my city where I'm born and raised. And I grew up amongst a lot of African Americans since I was young. And I see a lot of like difference of being like, you know, Black, okay? But one thing I always see was a little bit of racism that not Africans had towards African Americans, but the African Americans, like, you know, older, like the soldiers that were there, like they're still present now, have, when even like they speak about Africans. I know that these things now have changed. Like now they're not like that anymore. Like I can see like every time I go back home and I see like some African Americans, we have a chat and stuff. Now it's different, especially like when the Black Lives Matter thing happened. But back in the day, there is this kind of like this association of being like African. So I never understand what the African American like word, when you say African American, is it just because you guys are Black? Because what I believe is African Americans is a race.
I'm on the floor. This dude sounds creepy.
Okay.
So, but I can see like how they associate with being like, you know, African, and I totally understand that because, as I say, I think African Americans they have their own race, and which I really respect. I mean, I grew up.
Okay, let's hold on. Wait. We got to slow it down.
Slow it down. Hey, let me shout out to Gerald. Shout out to Gerald Wilson for the Cash App donation, supporting the Dollar Challenge. Right? Don't let Gerald Wilson be the only one. Support the channel, man. Support the movement. Make sure y'all hit that like button, support the channel, and share the live stream. Let's get it.
Okay, let's slow it down a minute. So you said you feel that African Americans, well, foundational Black Americans, were racist towards you Ethiopians?
Not Ethiopians, like dissociate with like completely like Africans, not like specifically Ethiopians. Absolutely not.
So you think foundational Black Americans have always been racist towards Africans?
This is what I perceived. Like, this is what I perceived with my experience being amongst like African Americans. And I've been to the United States. You know, I traveled in the United States. So, and I probably there I could find like a little bit different. When I was in Harlem, for example, I can see that, you know, whether you're from Nigeria or whatever, you are African American. Like, I feel like the acceptance there, I saw that the African Americans accept
Slow down. How do you think you were able to immigrate to the United States?
I don't know. I would never, but
you went to Harlem.
Yeah, I went visit. I went to visit. I've always been a fan of. I grew up. As I say, I grew up amongst African American, and of course, like when you are a black person living, like born and raised in Italy, the fact that you what.
He kind of moving a little fast. I don't really know what his point is. I think he's trying to beat around, but he gonna eventually get to it. Let me shout out to El Malik El Wahid for the Cash App donation. We appreciate that. And if you want to donate and stay anonymous, just type within the donation chat that you want to stay anonymous. Or the donation box, whatever. Just say you want to stay anonymous. We appreciate all the support to the channel. Shout out to all the American Aborigines and FBA brothers and sisters in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button. Thumb up the video.
I was very attached to more the African American community than being Italian. So, listening to hip hop music and stuff like that.
Slow down. I want to get clarity because you're going all over the place. Because you said something, you've just been kind of rambling on. But slow it down. I want to get to this thing where you thought that foundational Black Americans were racist towards Africans, and that's not the case. Foundational Black Americans, we've been the only people who have been helping African people and been fighting for African people, and we've been upholding African history and culture and elevating it. No other group has been doing that. Not even Africans. Now, did you hear what I just said? Hello. Turn your microphone on, sir.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Tariq is so true. Think about it. 10 years ago, you wasn't having the same ideology that we have now. And you was taught this African pro-Black, lift up Africa, teach their history from other Black Americans. We promoted it and pushed that shit. Not even in nowhere else. Marcus Garvey didn't go to Africa, the island. He came to America to get it cracking. The American Colonization Society came here to get it. They was trying to make us uphold Africa so much. They sent people to Libya and Liberia and Sierra Leone and Cameroon to colonize and civilize it. To the point where now it's part of your history. It's almost, they call it self-hating, quote unquote, when you don't uplift Africa, even though we're not even African. Do you see the double standards?
Yeah, I totally understand and I totally get it. I absolutely. But
okay, so so now that you get it, I don't want you to babble now. I want you to stick with that. If you get it, if you know that it's been foundational Black Americans, we've been the ones talking about Pan-Africanism. The Marcus Garvey movement got popping with foundational Black Americans. It wasn't the Caribbean. The Caribbeans failed with the Garvey movement. The Garvey movement got popping because of foundational Black Americans. We were the ones bigging up Africa. There was another African who came.
Him and Lean Drip, something drip. Yes, this is live, brother. This is the live stream. Make sure y'all hit the like button right now. Go thumb up the video right now. We're playing audio from the Twitter spaces from last night. So we're piggybacking off of that conversation at hand. So yeah, this is a live stream.
Over him, he finessed a lot of people named Chief Sam. He had another Back to Africa movement, and Black folks were going over there to elevate Africa. They got finessed, but Black people have always, foundational Black Americans, we've always been bigging up Africa, giving props to Africa. The AME churches and all that, the African Episcopal Medical, we've always been throwing the name out there, giving props to our African side of our lineage. We've always been doing that, sir. In the 1930s, foundational Black Americans saw that Ethiopians were about to be invaded by Italy, which you went to Italy. Foundational Black Americans by the thousands in this country signed up to go volunteer to go over there.
It was Black people like John Robinson who learned how to build planes. He built a plane and went over there to Ethiopia to help the Ethiopians out. He taught the Ethiopians how to fly planes, sir. In the 1960s, it was foundational Black Americans going over there to help fight colonialism. Dr. King, Malcolm X, so many other people. It was foundational Black Americans fighting to help get those immigration laws relaxed so that Black people from the diaspora could come here. So, sir, when you say that, well, it seems like foundational Black Americans are just racist towards us, I find that very disrespectful to not just me, but to my foundational Black American ancestors, sir. I'm going to be very honest.
That's okay. No, I understand. I mean, that's your point. But I mean, this is what I experienced, and what I said before is when I went to the United States, when I actually traveled to the United States, I could see a little bit like a different of what I experienced when I was in Italy. Okay, so when I would see like in Harlem, like a Nigerian or an Ethiopian, I would see like a lot of like, wow, okay, they actually like it's different from what I see like in Italy. I could see like more the integration they have in America, which I found like amazing. Because when I left Italy, I was like, wow, I'm pretty sure like I'm gonna find like the African people like just right in the ghetto. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that the ghetto that everybody was talking when when you see the movies or whatever. When I was young, I thought it was African but not African Americans. Does that make sense from what from my experience with African Americans?
Hey, we got 354 people in here. Let's try to get 600 people in this live stream today. So I'm gonna need all 300 of y'all to go share the live stream, make a post on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Go share the live stream at least one time. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Drop those fire emojis and run up those likes, man. We need them likes to hit 350 likes right now.
Being like, are you African like this? Are you African at poor? Are you African at this?
Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Because I hear people say that, and that's false. What media apparatus do you see showing Black Americans in a ghetto? Turn your microphone on.
Yeah. Oh, I was in the United States, so I mean when I say
okay, but
when I say I don't think everybody.
Where did you get the "we're in a ghetto" narrative? Because that's not shown on television. So where did y'all get this narrative that we're in a ghetto? Because that's not what you see on television over there. That's not what.
Hey, somebody asking where the link is. It's ticking across the screen. You want to support the channel? It's ticking across the screen. Shout out to Juan Torres for the Cash App donation and supporting the challenge. He supporting the $1 challenge. He said, keep dropping the knowledge. Absolutely, brother. Appreciate you for being here. Appreciate you for tapping in. Shout out to Juan Torres.
See it all over there in Ethiopia or any world media outlet. You don't see foundational Black Americans in ghettos. That's not what you see. So where did you get that narrative?
Well, what I get this narrative is this is from my experience with Americans, especially Black African Americans in Italy. Okay, so and every time I was even talking, or every time I was
no, sir. I'm trying to be patient with you, but you're going all over the place. I want you to be focused, sir. I want you to be focused. You're all over the place. Let's tackle one thing at a time.
Hey, Anthony Jones, that is so true. A lot of the foundational Aboriginals, quote unquote, Black Americans, has vastly moved out of the New York era heavy. That's true. That is so true. There is a lot of tethers there, and it's confusing the look on when you looking at America from that New York standpoint. There is a lot of tethers there.
Because see, I'm teaching. I want people to have.
The last run from foundationals in that area was like the 60s, the late 70s.
When you hear
90s, they started leaving.
Narratives, when they say, well, in the media, we just thought you all in the ghetto. No, that's not the media that told you that. The media doesn't tell you that. Because I've been over to these countries. They don't show foundational Black Americans in ghettos. They don't show that.
Would you give me an explanation? Because now the reason why I'm here to be honest, because this space is kind of like very informative and funny at the same time, to be honest. Like, I'm learning so many things,
Right.
Even though I'm not an African American, but I really want to understand and really want to learn. And I think this is a very informative.
Thank you, sir. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Okay. I don't want people to babble. I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. I would like for people to talk, but I just don't want people kind of babbling their thoughts out. And then when they say certain things, and then you kind of.
He was babbling and projecting, and like he asked him, "Where did you get that understanding from?" You see what I'm saying? Of us being ghettoed and shit.
It's a great film, man, just for black people to know their history.
I'd like to switch the narrative.
Oh, what happened, Bert?
Yeah, I'd just like to switch the narrative.
Bert, what happened?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. There you go. There you go.
Okay. I'd like to switch the narrative for a moment from my own personal experience.
Okay.
Go ahead. As a white dude who grew up between Milwaukee and Chicago, and grew up with a ton of FBA. I mean, pretty much my entire grade school, high school were all FBA people that were awesome in so many ways, sports, you name it, football, wrestling, track, all the way down the line. The narrative that I'm curious about is, so my last name is Irish, Griffin. I had two brothers on my team named.
Bert.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go ahead. The narrative is what now?
I had two guys that we graduated with that were Mike and Luther. And we had a college coach.
Okay.
Now think about it. We're about the same age, man. Late 80s.
Okay, Burke, your phone is really acting up. You got the janky phone, Burke.
Can you hear me, man?
Okay, Burke.
I think Tariq was in, he was out of town, so it could have been his signal where he was. Cause I heard Burke pretty good on my end. Y'all heard the audio loud and clear on your end? Drop those fire emojis in the chat. We got 373 people in here. Drop those fire emojis if y'all can hear everything loud and clear.
Tariq, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, Burke. Go ahead. You said right, Mike and Luther.
So I grew up with two guys named Mike and Luther. We were all seniors together. A college coach came to recruit all of us. Those two guys were black. I was white. And the college coach at the time had no idea before he met us. That was the interesting part of it. But he wanted to recruit all three of the Griffin brothers. And the shock on his face when he saw all three of us, we had one guy who was 5'8", 200 pounds, fullback. And then we had two other guys who were 6'3" and 6'4", and both big, but one was white and one was black. And that led to the discussion of last names and surnames in the United States.
This is gonna be an interesting conversation. I can tell by the way it's starting off. Let me shout out a couple of people that donated. Shout out to James Williams. Shout out to James Williams for the cash out donations, supporting the Dollar Challenge. Make sure y'all support the Dollar Challenge, y'all. It's 387 of y'all in here. Make sure y'all support the Dollar Challenge. James Williams, appreciate that. He said, don't ever stop what you are doing. I appreciate that. I do need the motivation. I do need it. And I don't plan on stopping. I plan on doing this. It's a way of life, waking up our people, getting them on code. And hopefully we'll see the benefits of everything pay off. It's for the future. It's for the future generations. So hopefully this impact will be long lasting. Hopefully it becomes what it needs to be. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure y'all drop those fire emojis.
And Mike and his family traced their roots back to northern Georgia. My family immigrated from Ireland, but never got south of New Jersey. They had the entire family had stayed north in the United States. Why do you think so many FBA, from Shaquille O'Neal to Tracy McGrady to Eddie Murphy, what do you think the distinct connection is between FBA and Irish immigrants?
Well, even in the Caribbean too, you see a lot of that in Jamaica because there were indentured servants.
Well, according to the records I got, a lot of Irish did come as indentured servants, but the vast majority came as white slaves. And they identified them and called them Black Irish. Black meaning the condition that they was in. It was a classification. Okay, they called them the Black Irish, and they were slaves in the Caribbean islands. You can go read that in White Cargo, and they were white and they were slaves. That's two references, sources. Y'all guys can go look up.
There were a lot of Irish indentured servants working with side by side with foundational Black Americans,
and a lot of them they hooked up.
Oh yeah, we mix with these people. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. You won't find too many mixtures in your bloodline except for pale skinned people. And it's starting to find out that a lot of these pale skins are not the German, not the Slavic. You're mixed with the Scottish and Irish people. And I believe that there's something to that when you find it in your bloodline. Not mine, but a lot of you brothers and sisters have that mention it. I'm starting to find that. I haven't found it in my bloodline.
Like,
yeah, they did.
They got together.
They did. But the thing is, with the Irish indentured servants, and even when you go to Jamaica, you'll hear a lot of, if you listen to the Jamaican accent, that's really African dialect with an Irish accent. If you take a real good listen to a Jamaican accent, it sounds kind of Irish. Even some of the things that I've heard Jamaicans say, like top of the morning, all of that, these come from Ireland. But a lot of the indentured Irish servants, ultimately, when they were finally able to be classified as white, because the Irish were not classified as white.
No, they actually had the nickname of Black Irish, and even working along the railroads. I mean, I looked at some of the different things about who built what. I mean, those were the two people that built most of the 1800s America.
I wouldn't say the Irish did. It was foundational Black Americans, because the railroad companies, if you look at the records, and you can look online and see the records, they owned a ton of foundational Black Americans. They just bought us by the lots, by the
okay, I misspoke there. I didn't mean just the railroads in general. I'm saying built. I mean, whether it's buildings, whether it's railroads, north, south, whatever. Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's a common theme between the two cultures. And like I said earlier, I mean, I'm white mutt. I mean, I've got Danish, I've got German, I got French, I got Scottish. I'm a mixing pile of white whatever from Europe.
But here's the thing with the Irish. Here's the thing with the Irish. The Irish, number one, when they did work to build something, they got paid. And secondly, when they got done with their indentured contracts, they got something called freedom dues. They got money, land, and they got guns. So they were compensated. That was the big difference.
Right.
We have not been compensated. So do you think that we should get our 40 acres and a mule just like the Irish got theirs?
Oh, I think no matter, regardless of that, absolutely. What I was saying is the identity part of it. Like when you have names like, I mean, Tariq Nasheed, you grew up in Detroit, right?
I grew up in Alabama and Los Angeles. I was born in Detroit.
Oh, you're born in Detroit. Okay, I thought you were a Michigan guy. Anyway, that's beside all of it. Like the name part of it, when it comes to Africa or Ireland or whatever country you may be from, it just seems like a very unique bond that so many FBA people that have grown up in this country, whether it's slavery or otherwise, they have so many Irish names. They did not want to take that English WASP authoritarian like name. They refused to. When they were like, when they left whatever plantation or wherever part of slavery they were part of, they were like, you know what, I'll take that Irish name.
Well, you know what, a lot of core Irish would move into Black areas, like in New York. Up in New York, Central Park was a Black neighborhood. That was Seneca Village. And
look at every big city.
Right.
And core Irish people, when they immigrated in, they couldn't live among other white people, so they would go live among black people. You know, black people took care of the Irish folks for a long time. So it is a very unique history.
Interesting. Hey, man, love your show. Hey, love your broadcast. Love your tweets. Like I said, don't always agree with you. I wish you weren't as much of a quote unquote race baiter and just a race hater. Because you know what? That's what it comes down to, man. It's all like that should not be a part of anyone's conversation.
There you go. But I like to bait people who are racist so I can expose them. See, that's what me. All right. But thank you so much.
I hear you, man. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. All right. All right. Let's get Cap. Let's get Cap in here. Cap, are you in here?
Yes. Thanks for letting me on, Tariq. I had a question for you, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir. Now, Cap, where are you from? First of all, where are you from?
I've stayed a lot.
Sako,
hey, how are you?
I'm good, Sako. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for accepting me and allowing me to speak in your space. I hear about your name in so many spaces. Like, why? I mean, in your own words or own terms, why are so many people against you? Or like, why? Like, what's the big chaos and debate behind your name? Like, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what it is, we foundational Black Americans, we are just really giving props and credence to our lineage, and other groups are really threatened by that because we, as foundational Black Americans, we've been on this big Black melting pot type of ideology where people come in and use our culture to facilitate their own progress, but it has not been reciprocated. So now we're understanding and looking at our culture and seeing how we can gain tangibles and benefits from our own culture the way other people have. So now they're trying to claim that's divisive. So it's a lot of projection.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, so I'm like 1,000,000, 1,000, 1,000,000% behind the ideology.
Yeah.
Oh wait, can you say it again? Say it for me.
Is it the ideology?
Ideology, yes. Let's go. Okay.
Now, stop for 1 second. Stop. Now, where are you from? I see 2 flags on your page.
So my mom is from Tanzania. My dad is from Guinea. Okay. They came to the U.S. for college. They came with their siblings. Their siblings went back to Africa. But like my parents got jobs here and they just decided to stay. So like we're like isolated, but every summer we rotate summers.
Okay,
we go to my mom's country, go to my dad's country, and I hang out with my cousins and my aunts and uncles and stuff. But like, okay, so I get that, and I'm like 100 and 1,000% behind it because I feel that. I am with that. Like, Black Americans need to be identified, acknowledged as a group of people that are like a group of people that have their own traditions. Because I was even in a space where like Africans were like, what are your traditions? And I'm like, wait, hold up. Black American traditions go very, very deep, are very, very rooted. Yeah. But still, like, do you feel like nowhere in your lineage is tied to Africa?
Yes.
Whatsoever?
Yes. Everybody's lineage, especially over here in the Western Hemisphere, is tied to Africa.
No, but I'm saying you specifically, like, as a...
Incorrect. Not everybody's ancestry is tied to Africa. As a matter of fact, majority of us ancestral lineage don't go back to Africa.
Yes.
Tariq Nasheed, like, do you feel... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it is, but we're still a distinct
group of people, yeah, and I stand by that. And I recognize that,
just like Jamaicans.
Yeah,
and they
exactly. Jamaicans are Jamaicans. Haitians are Haitians. I don't know what other group we can think of that are Black, that are separate. Cubans, Black Cubans, Afro Puerto Ricans, Afro Cubans, Afro Latinos.
We as foundational Black Americans,
yeah,
we have our own distinct lineage. So why do you think a lot of people from the continent has a problem with that?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just think for a long time, the way things have been set up has been created for us to be divisive and has been created for like everyone to be hateful because a Jamaican, you can talk to Jamaican and they're gonna love on an African. You can talk to Haitian, they're gonna love on their African like ancestry. But in terms of like America and Africa, I don't know what it is. There's always been this like setup to where it's like, okay, like no.
Because we know that we're not African. That's why I'm trying to tell you. Some people still confused and haven't relearned shit. But in the same sentence, you will acknowledge the Aboriginal here. You see what I'm saying? We are the Aboriginal. We've been here. I don't believe all these African shit. That's a lie. Under my research.
Wait, hold on. Because this is the problem. What setup has it been that's been no? Because
I don't know. I'm telling you, I really don't know. And I feel like that's been like that's something that's in history for years. Oh, and then by the way, I just have to also acknowledge the fact that like I don't come from a majority of what represents Africans in America because the majority are Nigerians and Ghanaians and like other.
She is such an airhead, but she trying to make it seem like we all African, but we're not. The reason we're different and we act different and we ain't like everybody else because we ain't like the rest of these niggas. You understand me? We're different. We're the Aboriginal American, man.
Countries.
We don't flee.
Even
if
other
we,
Africans.
If we can't say one thing that's unique about us, we can at least say that.
So them I come from Guinea, they don't even know what country that is. Like my dad's country is super small, and like they are obsessed with African American culture, or just obsessed with anyone that's like excited to come.
Have you been to Nia?
Yeah, and so like I'm often in spaces where they're like Africans this, Africans that, and I'm like, oh, that's so sad because like my dad's country, Guinea, if you come, the people from the deepest of villages are gonna bring like they don't have any money, but they're gonna bring food. They're gonna bring like with the little money that they have, they're gonna bring clothing and they're gonna present that to you as a gift, as an offering, and as an honoring.
Right.
Of you visiting the country.
I've been to Tanzania and Zanzibar, and beautiful.
Zanzibar, okay, yeah, those countries are different. That's not like my dad's country. Those countries are different. Very, very influenced by white people. The white people are like very heavily present in that space. So it's like more modern, but whereas my dad's country is literally like if you're entering 1735, like very I don't want to say backwards. I don't want to say backwards, but it's like, yeah, they're
slow down, sweetie, because you're all over the place. Let's bring it back. All right. I want to go back to something you said about Foundation of Black Americans. You think that you made a comment, and can't get lost on the comment. You said that Jamaicans they will acknowledge their Africanness. Certain Caribbeans will acknowledge Africanness, but Foundation of Black Americans, you said it's something about us that has a problem. Do you think we have a problem with African people?
No, I think it's both ways. It's both ways, and I'm listening. It's both ways.
How?
Immigrants coming here, making Black Americans feel like they're less than, or they're like not like them. And then it's also like Black Americans like being like, ew, you're over there, like ew. But then again, that's not to say that.
Hold on, just slow down. Immigrants don't make us feel anything, man. They can't make us feel less than. If you are struggling in your homeland and we help you get here, no immigrants make us feel any kind of way. We don't feel less than because of any immigrants, man. Let's clear some of this stuff up. As foundational Black Americans, we're rooted in this land and this culture, and people who have to leave their homeland, they don't make us feel anything less than ourselves. Okay, let's clear that narrative, okay?
And that's 100% fact. Big Al Original Power stamped that. No foreigner make us feel no type of way. We be looking at foreigners like, look how they dress. Look at it. They got a green, yellow, pink, and purple. You know what I'm saying? With fishnets on. We be looking at these foreigners like, yo, they off balance right now.
Okay, no, I'm not trying to say that that's what I'm saying, but I've been in spaces where Black Americans have expressed that Africans make them feel that way. That African immigrants, yeah, like
Hold on. No. They probably mean that we don't want them talking crazy. Just because they're talking crazy, that doesn't mean we internalize it. Okay? We don't want to be disrespected. So they don't make us feel any less than, because if you come from a culture that you had to flee, you can't make us feel any kind of way. So we just don't want to be disrespected. Exactly. We don't want to be disrespected.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm with you, and I hope I'm not making you feel like I'm against you.
Okay. Thank you, dear. Okay. Because now I feel like I'm about to be okay. Okay, sister, I'm trying to work with you, but yeah. Okay, I'm trying to be patient, but she's kind of just okay. You're just talking over. So I feel like certain things are going in one ear and out the other. So yeah, I don't want to talk and things are going in one ear and out the other. Yeah, okay. All right. Now, I like for the things to be constructive. I want it to be constructive. She's just saying things and then, I didn't mean it like, okay. I don't want to do that. All right. Adrian, turn your microphone on, man.
How you doing, Tariq?
Hi, Adrian. How are you, dear?
I'm doing great, man. Long-time supporter. I have all the movies. I have my Odoon juice. I donated to the museum, waiting on the new Maroon movie. I know it's going to be dope. I just wanted to just speak on the FBA lineage for a second, if I may.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
So I am foundational Black American.
This is love.
My husband and I grew up outside of Cleveland. My husband's from Dallas. I listened to a couple of the spaces where people were saying things like,
hey, we got 442 people in the live right now. Make sure you hit the like button, share the live stream, support the channel. Support the channel, man. Let's try to get 600 people in here. You know what I mean? I'm gonna need all 400 of y'all to go share the live stream and immediately thumb up the video. Thumb up the live stream. Don't forget, y'all, if y'all just coming into the knowledge of who y'all is, make sure you do understand genealogy is key. Genealogy is key to understanding and contradicting the historical narrative that has been placed upon your people, especially the slave narrative. When your genealogy says that your people was the owners of the land, they owned their business, they was hiring people, they got paid for work, they traveled for work. Don't let these slave narratives just go without being challenged. So make sure you do your genealogy and challenge the history. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe button. Shout out to all the American Aborigines and the FBA brothers and sisters in the chat. Make sure y'all drop those fire emojis.
oh, well, Black Americans, like, we don't care about what's going on in other places. I don't think it's that we don't care. I think it's that we understand that other people's fights aren't our fights. That's not our business. Like, I'm not going to inject myself into any type of reparations claim that people in another country are having. That's not any of my business. But somehow the opposite doesn't seem to happen. People come here and inject themselves in conversations that we're having. And it just feels like you don't really have a right to do that. I live in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, have a lot of friends, a lot of sorority sisters from the Caribbean. One of my homegirls from Haiti, she and I were talking about it. I had shared 1804 with her, and she totally understood. Like, when she and I were discussing it, it was like, hey, if you all ever get into a reparations conversation with France, I can't jump in that conversation just because I'm Black. And she totally understand that. Nobody else has a right to get in that conversation with France except those Haitian people. Mm-hmm. My other homegirls that are from like Jamaica, Trinidad, they didn't really get it. They were on some, well, hey, we're all Black and blah, blah, blah. And so I told them, I was like, look, if I retired tomorrow and I decided to go down to Kingston and open up a coconut stand, If y'all enter into a conversation of reparations with Great Britain, I can't jump in that conversation just because I'm Black and I happen to live there. I don't descend from there.
Yeah.
I descend from here. And the thing about it is, I not only do Black Americans understand that, but I don't think people in those places would take too kindly to us doing that.
Absolutely.
Hence the whole CARICOM thing, right? That we're not allowed to be involved in, right? So it's not that, hey, we don't love y'all, we don't want y'all, we're trying to be divisive. It's just reparations is for something that is very specific, that happened to a specific group of people in a specific place, this land. You speak a lot about going back to the 1870 census. I just wanted to share with the family some other tools that I use besides just that. I was able to take my father's lineage I found all the way back to 1790 in Virginia, and I found my mother's all the way back to 1800. So I just wanted to share with the family, in addition to the census. Now, for full disclosure, my grandfather, my mom's dad, one of his younger brothers back in the 80s did a whole comprehensive family history on us. Our oldest and living elder at the time, my great-great-grandmother, was 104. She was born in the 1880s. This was the 1980s. She was the one that was able to tell the family her parents were born in the 1850s and were slaves in Alabama. Lo and behold, I'm looking this up and kind of taking this on for my family, searching on Ancestry and searching the records, and she was absolutely correct. So number one, we are an oral people. Don't discount oral history, right? I know a lot of people seem to have a problem with you saying that some of us even were part of the Aboriginal people.
Right.
And I remember that thing with I don't know if it was
Shout out to the Aboriginals in the chat, stand up.
that Skip Gates thing with Chris Rock, and he was like, "Oh, I thought in our family they said we were Native American," and he was like, "No, that's not true. That's an urban legend. All Black people say that." No, that's not an urban legend.
Right.
That's real oral history. You can't discount that.
Exactly.
Right?
Skip the truth, Dick.
When they say Native American, they mean Aboriginal. They mean Indian. You shouldn't have to add Black onto Aboriginal because all Aboriginal people are melanated. There's different types of Indians, so we exclusively use the word Aboriginal. They mentioned about the Black Indian, right? They gonna use the term Native American, which I don't agree with. Shout out to Leonardo for the Cash App donation, supporting the channel. Shout out to Leonardo. We appreciate that.
Hey man, we can get on him. That's another conversation. Skip.
But I do remember that episode that you were talking about where Chris Rock was like, "Oh,
when Black people saying they Native American under this diaspora conversation, I know what they mean. See, you got to have intellect and learn how to read between the lines or eat the meat and spit out the bones, for instance. So
I always thought I was Native." He's like, "No."
A simple conversation with either one of those, it could adjust those words, and that's easy.
No, you're not Native. That's just something Black people say. Don't discount that. Also, I would look at birth certificates. Sometimes it's really, really hard when you're dealing with people who are born like the 1800s. A lot of our Black ancestors were born at home. Sometimes they may be off in the year they were born. But if you can find birth certificates, great. If not, if you found someone that was born in the 1800s but died in the 1900s, so last century, 20th century, on their death certificate, it may list place of birth. Also, marriage licenses. I found that in my family as well. One of my granddad's sisters, she got married really young, so their parents had to sign. On my great-grandparents' thing, it asked for their place of birth, which was listed as Alabama. You can look at Civil War draft cards. You'll see, colored infantry, colored battalion, and then it had, side of the war, Union, a place of birth. So you'll see that. You could see slave schedules. This was very interesting. I found the slave schedules are done by county, not city. A lot of the cities that we know now did not exist back then.
Yeah, so that's a big fact. That's a big fact. So when we looking at all this history, it's not just one thing you got to understand that was changed. A lot of things was changed. So if you're not correcting the narrative in its proper perspective, you're gonna still be confused when reading and progressing with history and trying to add it all up and put the puzzle together. You gotta challenge the narrative. They've been lying about everything. And they rechanged a lot of shit, like she said.
County. So if you look up your family last name, like I did, Okay, and my family happened to be from this particular side of my mom's family is from Wilcox County, Alabama, which is Camden. Back then, I have to look up Wilcox County. Camden, as like the city that we know now, did not exist back then. So I was able, you can cross-reference, okay, these are the slave schedules. If you see a plantation owner with your family name in that area, then yeah, you can logically deduce that you came from there. So it's intellectually dishonest when people act like it's such a insurmountable feat to find out who's FBA and who's not. No, it isn't, because I found it. And
that's why I tell people all the time, she's going in right now. And I feel like as Black Americans, we know exactly who we are and who our people is. I believe out of all the people, we're the ones that's not having an identity crisis. They want to elude and cause chaos, so we will have identity crisis. But through the indoctrination and colonization and manipulation, we still know who our people is still to this day.
A professional genealogist. I know you had a girl on the space the other day that said that. Well, I'm not a professional genealogist. I was able to find all this out with an Ancestry.com account and some time on my hands.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to add that in addition to the census, I just wanted to add that for the family, some of the other tools that I use to go back even further.
Exactly. Thank you so much, beloved. Let me touch on that. It is not that hard to find out your lineage. People try to make it seem like rocket science. Man, you can go to Ancestry, log on right now and just look at some old census records. You'll find out if your family is on the damn 1870 census within an hour. And it's interesting with other people who are not FBA who try to tell us about our lineage.
Right. How you going to tell us about our lineage? You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you run up them likes, man. Let's try to get 300 likes in the building. We got 438 people in here. I want to say peace and blessings to everybody that's tuning into the live stream. This is your brother Aboriginal Power. I appreciate all the support. Hit the like button, share the live stream.
Hell, are you going to tell us what we are and what we're not? We know what our lineage is. We know where we go back to. And look, we've been on this land for centuries. All right? This is our land, ladies and gentlemen. Black people who were brought over from Africa, who were mixed in with the Black Aboriginal people. And when people come in our spaces trying to tell us that we don't have Aboriginal ancestry and there were no Black Aboriginals.
Talk that shit, man. That's exactly what this platform was built off of. Teaching people that there's been Black people here since the beginning. And they've been hiding our history. That's why my name is Aboriginal Power. And in this land, being Aboriginal is power.
These are people who are trolling. You understand? Nobody's going to tell us about our lineage. Like our sister said, we have oral traditions. We have grandmothers and grandfathers that we sat up and talked to, and they will tell you, listen, I lived in Alabama as a kid. Do y'all know how many full-blooded Black, jet Black Native Americans that I saw
Aboriginal
growing up down in Alabama? Oh, you had old, elderly, Black-skinned people who were classified as Negro, but when you looked at their paperwork, they were actually full-blooded Native Americans, all in Alabama. Even places like Tuscaloosa.
Hey, that's a fact. Even places like Tuscaloosa.
Black Native American.
Oh,
Tuscaloosa
shit.
means black boy.
I don't know what the hell happened. Let me run this shit back. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. All right. Give me 30 seconds and we'll be right back in 30 seconds, man. We're going to continue the live. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button.
See, my life has been in motion. I'm a little windy. I'm not giving up yet. If you with me, time to place up your bet. Ain't no turning back. Got niggas who ran. When we caught his ass, got caught in that jam. Yeah, you know who I am. Yeah, you know who I am. I can feel it coming. I can feel it coming. It's that feeling in your stomach, you can feel it coming. It's that feeling in your stomach, you can feel it coming. Yeah, you can feel it coming. Fake love, that snake you in your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God wrote it. Too much fake love, that snake you in your face, love. Your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God roll. Too much fake love, snake you in your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers, we gon' make it, that's how God roll. Yeah, the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God roll.
All right. We back.
And you can go to Ancestry, log on right now.
Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Let's get it.
You understand? Nobody's going to tell us about our lineage. Like our sister said, we have oral traditions. We have grandmothers and grandfathers that we sat up and talked to, and they will tell you, listen, I lived in Alabama as a kid. Do y'all know how many full-blooded jet black Native Americans that I saw growing up down in Alabama? Oh, you had old, elderly, black-skinned people who were classified as Negro, but when you looked at their paperwork, they were actually full-blooded Native Americans, all in Alabama. Even places like Tuscaloosa, which is right outside Birmingham, that's named after a black Native American. Tuscaloosa means black warrior. There were black Native Americans all through Alabama, all through Florida, all through Mississippi, all through Louisiana. Very well documented. And I've seen these people with my own eyes, black-skinned Native Americans growing up as a kid, seeing old, elderly, black-skinned Native American people. So I'm not going to have anybody from some other culture tell us what.
And like I said, I want to reiterate, when he say Native American, he only mean Aboriginal, right? Or Black Indian or Negroes that was already here, however you want to say it. You understand?
We didn't or did not see. Did or did not see. Let's get some more people in here. We know our lineage. We know who we are. All right, let's get this person. Who is this person here? Mega Claricita, I think that's your name. Let's try you in here. Let's try you. And then we'll get some other people on. Meg Claricita, I think that's your name. Turn your microphone on and unmute your microphone if you can.
Thank you. I just happened across this room and I looked up your name and your book, and it's wow. This is really a different kind of angle. I'm really realizing the past few years that my education, I thought was supposed to be fantastic, but I'm really missing a lot of history. I'm really missing a lot of the truth. And what are some of the, I guess my question would be looking at your book, which by the way, I'm definitely getting. What motivated you to write this book? And what are maybe like one of the takeaways that you would want readers to have, please?
Okay, great. And by the way, Meg, where are you from, by the way?
LA.
Okay, you have an Irish accent sounding like. Where's your family from?
No. I went to school abroad.
Oh, okay. Now, where's your family from? Where did they immigrate from to the United States?
Well, my father is a mutt from Eastern Europe and Asia. My mother is WASP, White Anglo-Saxon Protestant, came here 1630.
Got it. Okay, so the book really is talking about my experience understanding racism growing up as a child, and I give my opinions about certain racial, societal politics and cultural norms that we see so that people can understand how systematic racism works. Because systematic racism dominates every area of activity. It's a constant in our lives, but it's hidden in certain ways where it's disguised, where it doesn't look like it's there, but it's still there. It keeps popping up its head. So I just give the readers some of the tools to navigate and see where a lot of systematic racism is hidden in our society and usually hidden in plain sight. So that's the best assessment I can give about it. I think if you read the book, you'll kind of get where I'm coming from.
Yeah, no, that definitely. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking, okay, this is. Well, yes, I know. I wish I could find more. Well, I'll search up online and maybe find some little bits and kind of be like, okay, get an idea of what it.
Thank you. Okay, all right. She's very jittery. Okay, all right. Just get the book, ma'am. Get the book and read, ma'am. Okay, I don't know what you got going on. All right.
She said she sounds jittery.
She's very jittery. Hope she's not over there drinking coffee at the pipe or whatever. All right, what's up? We have Stuart McCann. Stuart McCann.
Well, actually, it's pronounced McCann. McCann.
There you go. How are you?
I'm really well. Thank you for letting me speak. I really do appreciate that. Just so that everyone who's listening knows, I do have an African heritage. You wouldn't know it by looking at me. But my grandmother was an 8th African. And I did go on Ancestry. My sister found someone who was related to my grandmother, who actually knew of the family. And this woman was of advanced years. She wouldn't tell us anything.
Wait, so your grandmother was African?
An 8th, yes.
She was part African, small percentage of African.
Got it. 12%, well, I don't know. I really don't want to put, labels on it at all. But again, she had an African heritage. You certainly couldn't talk to her about it because she was born around the turn of the century.
So she was passing for white?
Yes. Sure.
Right. Okay.
The only thing that really gave her away was the texture of her hair.
Yeah.
Okay. That was it. Everything else, anyhow, have a daughter whose her mother is from China, Taiwan.
Okay.
My son-in-law is from Puerto Rico. Now, as you can see from my picture, my girlfriend is an African American.
Where's she from?
Where's she from? Maryland, I guess.
She looks foreign. I'm looking at the picture, and she doesn't look FBA. She looks foreign.
Well, come on now. I mean, we all know that when you're looking at people from Africa, they all have different features. Now, a lot of people who are African Americans are descended from people from West Africa, right?
That's
by and large, right?
Not really, but
I'm just saying by and large.
No, that's not true. I'm glad Tariq said so, because that's not true at all. That's not.
She's actually descended from people from Central Africa.
Okay. Was she a descendant of slaves in America?
Well, probably, and I could be too, right? If you think about it.
Yeah, you could be.
I could very well be, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, again, the point I'm trying to make is that I've actually had to deal with issues of race with raising my daughter, okay? So, personally, I really think that as a nation, we're all way too hung up on issues of race.
Why are we hung up on issues of race?
Well, because if you look at someone who, all right, so a lot of people, well, keep laughing all you want.
No, forget about it. It's just thought you.
Listen, I mean, what's African? What is black? Black really is someone who's not passing for white, right? And I know for a fact that if you really look at people who are quote unquote, they call themselves Black Americans, they're not 100% African.
Right.
All right.
That's why the term foundational Black American, because we have a distinct lineage.
Exactly.
Because everybody comes from Africa at one point, but we foundational Black Americans, we have a very unique.
How you gonna say Aboriginals here mixed with Africans, but everybody came from Africa at one point, Tariq? Come on, you gotta slow down a little bit. We're all not African. That's a fact.
Lineage to this land.
Yes.
So,
and I agree with you 100%. All right, we're in complete and total agreement. All right. But really, I think, you know, my girlfriend.
And like I said, Tariq still believes in the out of Africa theory, which is not true, by the way. I just want to reiterate that.
And she's grew up in a rural America amongst a group of people that were predominantly white Americans. Both her parents have PhDs. She wound up being, you know, she is very well spoken. And, you know, she went to an historically black college, Morgan State College, because she wanted to get in touch with her roots. The irony is, you know, she was literally told that she wasn't black enough because she was well spoken.
Let's stop that lie. That's a lie that a lot of white supremacists like to promote.
No. She actually got that from people who are at the college.
That's not what it is.
Yes,
sir.
it is. What is it?
Are you saying that the black people at that HBCU were not well spoken?
Would you please give me the benefit of the doubt, Tariq?
But sir, if you're going to spew a falsehood that black people who are well spoken are looked as outliers of black society, that's just not true.
Please, Tariq. I'm not making this up. This is what she told me. It's not coming from me.
Sir, the reason they didn't want to rock with her is because they probably thought she was a bed wench. Meaning that a bed wench, meaning a person who gets with white.
You said a what?
People like yourself who may or may be suspected of being a white supremacist and takes on that ideology and brings that ideology to black society. That's the problem they had with her. They probably thought she was a bed wench.
All right, you're making assumptions, Tariq.
I'm making what, sir?
Assumptions.
I am making an assumption.
You are making assumptions. And again, I really think that even within white society and black society, we're all way too hung up on it. And we all make assumptions that aren't necessarily valid.
Why shouldn't we be?
Why shouldn't we be?
Right.
Well, because a lot of the things that both sides assume just simply aren't true.
Let's go back. Again, let's unpack some of this stuff, because I asked if your lady was a descendant of slaves in America, and you said you don't know. That means she's most likely not. You know whether or not you are a descendant of slaves in America. So sounds like your lady comes from an immigrant background.
No.
That's what it said.
She doesn't. I never asked her. And the reason why I never asked her is because I really don't feel that it's all that important.
If you didn't ask her, how do you know?
Tariq, and that's what I'm saying, is that you're making
do it. I'm looking at her picture. She doesn't look like a foundational Black American. I'm saying this from my observation as a full-blooded foundational Black American. Your lady doesn't look like she's a foundational Black American. Also, what makes me think she's not, the fact that she grew up the only Black family in a white neighborhood.
We don't do that generally. That's a fact. We don't really be you rarely find an FBA that grew up their whole life around white people. Like that's real rare.
That's usually not the case for foundational Black Americans. Usually,
family is from Baltimore.
Uh-huh.
They moved to all right. She is herself. I literally gave her for a Christmas present a DNA test.
We're not talking DNA. Listen, DNA doesn't distinguish.
Hell no, this is the Aboriginal platform. We waking everybody up. And so as our FBA brothers and sisters come into the chat, we just simply educate them. Substitute words educate them on their history here, the foundational here, what was already going on here long before a slave trade, long before Christopher Columbus, long before DeSoto. Negroes was already here building. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of our FBA brothers are still going with the out of Africa theory that we came on slave ships through this diaspora, but we got to challenge that. I don't think our brothers and sisters challenge that uh respectfully. I don't think they challenge it from a scholarly standpoint. So this is why we highlight the fact that a lot of this information that they tell you is incorrect, like the 1619 story. No one even uses that to argue that Africans first came here, because we have slaughtered that, because even within the records of John Rolfe, it mentions the Caribbeans. It does not mention Africa within the whole story. So even the term Africa didn't exist, nor did they mention Africa in it, period. So this is just one of the emphases that we challenge. We challenge Clovis first, which is only people been here in America 12,000 years ago. How? When you find in hoodies and pants in Mississippi and northern Great Lakes area at 17 to 15,000 years. You find the civilization in North Carolina at 50,000 years. The same city not too far from where Perry's DNA was extracted from. So we know, and we have challenged the history. This is not a FBA particular changing platform. No, this is Aboriginal power, and we are inquiring, and we are now educating and putting our arms around the FBA brothers and sisters while educating them. It's all about getting on code. Fuck the names, because all of these names are Europeanized. Do you recognize your people through observation and action? Okay.
What ethnic group you're from? Okay.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. 100%.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does too.
It doesn't.
Most of her blood comes from Central Africa.
A lot of people's blood comes from Central Africa.
And I've been to Central Africa.
Stuart, slow down. Sir, your DNA says you come from Africa too, doesn't it?
Everyone's DNA comes from Africa.
Oh, you just repeated what I said, Stuart. All right, you're repeating what I'm saying, sir. So now we agree. Everybody's DNA comes from Africa, so that cannot differentiate between.
I don't agree with what Tariq is saying right here.
Different tribes or ethnic groups.
But
so it sounds like your lady.
But we got the right to disagree on certain historical narratives. This
is not something that I'm making up.
Just because we disagree on historical narratives don't mean we're not the same people. You know what I'm saying? Don't mean we're, you know what I mean? We got to understand that. We got to get out of the semantics. We got to learn how to respectfully disagree and articulate an argument and still go along with the overall goals and solutions and plans. Takes a balance here. Hey, it's why big Aboriginal power here, man. Make sure y'all drop those fire emojis in the chat, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button.
Okay, so what? And the point of that is what? What's the point of that? Let's roll with your narrative.
I'm just saying that.
I'm just saying.
You know, as Americans, right? Both, every race is way too hung up on their race, and really, the way that I feel is that we should be looking at each other as human beings, people.
Okay, let's slow down because I don't want to get into catchphraseism. I still want to get on this articulation thing. Let's roll with the articulation narrative. Let's just roll with it. Let's say a significant portion of Black Americans are just not as articulate as your lady. Let's roll with that. Why do you think that is?
I really don't know. All right, I really don't understand.
Okay.
That at all. All right, now let me tell you something. I know.
It's that I really don't understand at all.
A lot of people who are, as you would.
I just know that my girl says what?
Classify them as white Americans.
As white Americans.
And I really don't consider them all that articulate either.
I know.
All right, so don't assume. All right, it seems like you're making assumptions here. That's the impression I'm left.
I'm just asking questions based on what you said, sir. I'm not, this is why I'm asking. I'm asking questions to get clarity. I'm not making assumptions. I'm asking a question. Everything has been a question. I have not accused or pointed my finger. I just want more clarity. This is why I asked. And sir, you made a point. This was you. I didn't bring this up. You said that your lady went to an HBCU, and because she is so well spoken, the people look down upon her, meaning that the people looking down upon her were not well spoken. Okay?
Right. They asked why she didn't sound black.
Okay.
All right. Even in high school, when she went to, a school that was more diverse.
If you go into a college, there's going to be a lot of other articulable people there. This sounds like tether talk. Seriously.
A lot of the students who were African American felt that, she should automatically be associating with them. Why is she hanging out with people that are Caucasian?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is that she grew up with them.
Okay.
All right. So when I say that people are way too hung up on race,
it don't make sense. There's got to be more to the story that either he didn't remember or that she didn't tell him. Because it's not making any sense.
And I truly do say this.
So the black people are the ones who are hung up on race. That's what you're trying to say.
I'm just saying we're all hung up on race. Because as someone who has lived in white society my whole entire life, there are...
Wait. Are you trying to say that there is a comparative hanging up on race that black people have with white society? Because black people are victims of systematic white supremacy. How is that comparative to any type of black bigotry? Are you trying to say there is some form of black bigotry that's comparative to systematic global white supremacy?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay.
Not at all. And when I say that we're hung up on race, I actually do feel that people who are white are also hung up on race. For whatever point of view that they may have, it's fair.
So why not you emphasize the violent, genocidal, systematic white supremacy that we are subjected to as black people, instead of pointing the finger of comparative black bigotry at black folks at an HBCU who you said had a problem with your lady, because you made a point to emphasize them instead of the white supremacist dominated court system, the white supremacist
listen,
system.
Stop. First off, I acknowledge all that.
You haven't, sir.
I will. I am.
Okay.
Right? And
he said, please stop, sir. I will acknowledge that. That nigga wild.
It's wrong.
This the nigga from the Clear Eyes, Red Eyes commercial. I knew who I heard that voice before. It's the nigga from the Red Eyes, Clear Eyes commercial.
Okay.
Y'all might not know about that, young ones in the chat.
What I'm saying is that amongst white society and black society, there's groupthink. And that's a problem.
Groupthink?
Yes, groupthink.
The only groupthink we have in black society is how do we stop being victimized by white supremacy? That's our groupthink. Right?
So, okay, please explain to me white supremacy. In a lot of situations these days, there's a lot of opportunities for you now.
Really?
Yeah.
Of course.
So y'all know the commercial I'm talking about. That nigga say red eyes, clear eyes. That nigga sounds just like, bro.
Okay, what opportunities do we have that cannot be reversed and undermined by the white supremacists in 3 minutes flat? Name any opportunity that any black person has that will not or it cannot be undermined by white supremacists at the drop of a hat. Name one.
All right. First off, you're making the assumption that I can snap my fingers and immediately everyone will have, everything will be okay. And you know what?
Do it. Let's try it again. You said everybody has opportunities. So I'm asking you, what opportunities do black people have that the white supremacists who run everything cannot destroy, undermine, or reverse at the snap of a finger? What are those opportunities?
Well, thank you, Tariq, for falling into my trap. The white supremacists who run everything.
Mm-hmm.
You certainly, why is it that makes you say that, Tariq? The white supremacists that run everything.
Because they said it.
Tariq, that's another thing too. I'd just like to dispel.
Okay.
First off, I don't wake up every morning thinking about
this nigga gonna put me to sleep. Oh my gosh. You talk so slow. But shit, it's a good conversation. He going at him though.
how I can keep you down. And
I mean, I thought I talked slow. So, you know what I'm saying? I thought I talked slow to the motherfucker. This nigga drug it out. Shout out to Bubbly Cuz.
A lot of other people who are white.
Let me stop you right there. I don't think every morning.
Stop muting me.
Okay, but because
I don't let me finish.
I want
let me finish. Let me finish.
But he think he get white privilege. He said, "Let me finish. Let me finish. I had the dry eyes. Now I have clear eyes."
Gotta
let
unpack.
Me finish.
Okay, hold on, Stuart. Slow down, Stuart. You're gonna get your time, but we're gonna have to unpack everything. We gotta slow roast this thing. Let's take it slow, Stuart. I'm gonna let you talk. I want to unpack everything you're saying, Stuart. Now, let me touch on what you just said first, and I'm going to let you speak. All right. You said you don't wake up every day thinking about how to keep us down. Sir, I don't wake up every day thinking about how to keep my food cold because I have a refrigerator set up that does it for me. So I don't have to think about it. It's on automatic pilot. And that's what systematic white supremacy is. The system is automatically designed to oppress us, so it's running on autopilot right now. But go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Oh, please, Tariq.
That was a good point.
You're right. There
that was a good ass analogy.
Are situations where there is institutional racism.
Okay.
All right. And I do understand that. And I understand that does keep you down. All right. But yet, to come out and say that, all whites or this white supremacy in this nation, and it seems like you're implying that there's a quid pro quo amongst all of us that it's okay. It's not.
But if it's not okay, why haven't the non-racist white people had the power to dismantle systematic white supremacy? Because white supremacy, the system of white supremacy, is the most dominating system. And no one is more powerful than the white people who believe in white supremacy. So the good white supremacists, so the good white people who don't believe in it, they're just not powerful enough to do anything. So
I would say that it is due in part to awareness.
Awareness. Oh, let me hear.
Yes, awareness. Right. And if you really think about it, if all people who are white thought exactly the same way, there wouldn't be the at least the progress in the United States that's occurred.
Progress like what?
This nigga got even a long thought. That's crazy, man. Hey, we got 426 in the chat. Make sure y'all hit that like button, share the live stream. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. For those that want to donate, the link sticking at the bottom of the screen.
I gotta hear this.
You gotta hear this.
I gotta hear it. What?
You gotta hear it.
What
gotta hear it.
How is there progressive racism? Because either it exists or it doesn't exist. So how do you have progressive racism?
You're putting words in my mouth, Tariq.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
And we're still under a system of racism and white supremacy. So what progress have we had?
You know something? My girlfriend was charged a higher mortgage rate because she was an African American. She is an African American.
Mm-hmm.
And the government literally went through and went after the company that did that. And wrote her a letter and told her that she was discriminated against.
Am I missing a point or am I just lost at this point? You might
And she has the letter. Now you can't tell me that every single person that was involved in that was a black, an African American.
Okay. So they acknowledged that she was discriminated against. Did they compensate her for it?
They did.
How?
It's a class action lawsuit.
So a lawsuit that's going to benefit a white law firm.
You know something? You're making the assumption that it's
that's what's
making the money.
Sir, that's what class action suits are basically designed for.
Oh, come on now.
Sir.
You, sir, are.
He's so slow. Tariq get to think of all the kind of points to just kill him with by the time he get finished. Because he's so slow. He is murdering him.
A class action lawsuit is not racial progress, sir. Where somebody might get awarded $3 and you're saying that a class action lawsuit where a gazillion people are part of a class action lawsuit.
You're muting me. You're muting me. You're actually muting me because you don't want me to speak.
I know, sir, but
yes.
He said, you muted me. You muted me.
You are.
No, sir.
Yes, you are. You're muting me because you don't want me to speak.
Repeating what you're saying, sir. You're saying that a class action lawsuit that involves a lot of people where a law firm, a white law firm, is going to benefit.
You're making the assumption that it's a white law firm. And you're also making the assumption, it seems, that every person that's working for that law firm is white and is benefiting from, racism.
Because most likely it is.
No, it isn't. You, sir, are just as racist as anyone I've ever met.
How so?
Because, some.
He been wanting to say that all night. It took his ass the whole get around to say, Tariq, you're racist. He could have just came on and said that, but he had a dry eye, Visine commercial out motherfucking ass.
But you're not thinking things through at all.
How am I oppressing anybody, sir? By asking questions. I'm just asking you questions and you're saying...
You know something? No matter how many times I give you an explanation, you at least are not in any way acknowledging my opinion or how I feel.
Acknowledging it, and I'm asking questions, sir. You're telling me that a class action lawsuit is racial progress. And I'm asking you, are you serious?
So I'm asking you, all right, Tariq, what do you suggest?
Sir, I suggest compensation to the aggrieved people, particularly foundational Black Americans.
And they did receive compensation. Maybe not.
What? Nigga, that's when I need the goddamn Westbrook meme. Nigga, what? You tripping. We ain't received no goddamn compensation. Let's hear what he got to say, man. It's gonna be long.
As much compensation as you would like them to have.
Sir, I'm not talking about a bogus class action suit where nobody's going to really get any money. That's not.
If you really want to talk about it,
that's not real.
I've actually descended from slaves myself.
Oh, I got
so if you want to talk about compensation.
Now, Tariq, don't start saying he ain't. Because white people came over here as slaves too. Matter of fact, they was the first slave. That's why we gotta get rid of this American descendants of slaves, because Europeans was enslaved here as well, and Negroes owned these Europeans.
All right, I should be entitled to exactly the same compensation that you're getting.
No, let me tell you.
No, because you're looking at me and you're saying I'm a white American.
Okay, and hold on one
right.
Second. Wait.
And because of that, you're saying I'm entitled to nothing.
Hold on, and let me.
Hold on.
Hold on. Listen. Hold on.
All right, I'm listening to you.
All right, now, family in the room. This is why we set up the reparations claim and the terminology a certain way for this reason right here. I've been telling people this is what's going to happen if we keep playing these wrong word games.
Like American descendant of slaves. You can't use that. You see how he jumped right on that? And he can legally get away with that because Tariq know, like I know, like my brother Chief Holiday know, that white people was enslaved in America. Shout out to my brother 111 Truth Searcher.
We're going to have folks.
We might have to revisit that again.
Like Stewart pop up saying that, hey, I'm a descendant of slaves too.
Oh, please. Oh, please. Excuse me.
I've been warning people.
Excuse me.
Sir. And this
Sir.
Tariq, let him speak now. I want to hear what this white man got to say about this slavery, man. I got to hear this, Tariq. Please don't cut him out. Let this nigga get this shit out. We got to hear this.
I'm calm down, sir. I've been telling people this is why, in order to get a reparations claim, a person has to be classified as Black for at least 10 years, and they should be able to trace their lineage back to Black ancestors who were in. That's why it's important to do it like that, for this very reason.
I see.
So you have been classified as Black for the last 10 years. This is why we put these caveats on there. So you have not been classified as Black, so people who are white cannot jump back and say, hey, I was on a plantation, my great-great-grandmother, my slave owner dad raped Sally Hemings, so I need a compensation. No.
No. Tariq, he really was. If people could have been on a slave plantation owned by rich Negroes who built up America, the foundational Negro who built before they came. If they were slaves here, who you think they was slaves under? Come on, Tariq. That's why we tell you restitution, because they own and stole. And now they got to repay with interest and restore it in proper position.
This is why we have to do it a certain way, sir, so that we won't get these type of janky deals going on. But let's move on, sir. And I'm trying to get clarity with you.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that you are explaining your position, and I really do appreciate that you're not muting me anymore.
Right. Well, when I want you to bring something back, that's when I'll mute. So just so you can bring it back, so we don't get too far out of the woods. Because when you say something, I want you to elaborate on it. I want to get deep into it. So
I see. Right. I'm really kind of curious with you too, with your opinions and where they came from.
Right. Well, I'm a victim of white supremacy, and my thing is trying to figure out how to replace the system of white supremacy with the system of justice. That's what I want to do.
And you know something? I'm with you.
Hey, big bro, Kevin Kim. Hey, get rid of that American descendants of slaves. Get rid of that. I'd rather you use aboriginal or foundational so-called Black American. You see what I'm saying? And there's levels to that too. I don't use FBA. I stand on the organic form of what we are. But we are foundational, and they do call me a Black dude. So I'm just saying, I understand what my FBA brothers are saying. So I'm just, you know what I mean? But I'm an aboriginal though. You know, I'm not a Black person. They call me Black.
All right.
But please explain, how do you consider yourself in terms of your class? You said you wrote a book.
Uh-huh.
All right. So clearly, I'm guessing that you must be well educated.
Actually, I'm not. I'm a high school dropout. I dropped out of high school in the 11th grade, moved to Los Angeles, became a street hustler. Then I educated myself. I went
Tariq, funny as hell. Nigga said a street hustler.
to the library, started reading a lot of books. While I was a hustler, I would travel the world, and I went to libraries all around the world. And
so you're like Malcolm X then?
Yeah, to a certain degree, like the Black Panthers, Malcolm X, U.P. Newton, a lot of those guys, man. A lot of people who were in the Black Power movement, man, they started off on the grassroots, and they got the support of the people. They understood the street lexicon. They understood dealing with people on the grassroots, and they learned how to deal with people in the intellectual circles. And
so, Tariq, let me ask you a question here.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So, what is it? All right, as someone who is, you're looking at me.
Yeah.
And you're identifying me as white.
You identify yourself as white.
All right, you're identifying me too as white. All right, I was actually raised in that, right? It wasn't as if that was something that I had chosen.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
Just like you are identifying yourself as a foundational Black American.
Right.
All right, you were raised in that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're acting as if that's something that you've chosen. It's not. It's something that you were raised in.
I agree with you. I was foundational Black American. I didn't choose it. I just the name, but the lineage, I was raised in it. You can't choose a lineage, but go ahead.
So, all right, as someone who's listening here with an open mind, what is it that someone like me can do to make your situation better?
Great question. What you can do is let us know what the white supremacists are saying and doing when we're not around.
Oh, good Lord. You're again making an assumption that in some way or another, that because I was raised as someone as a white American, that I know people who are white supremacists. And we're having meetings behind closed doors to keep you down.
Sir, you're talking about white extremist groups. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the everyday average white supremacist. Especially
Please explain what that is.
A white supremacist is anybody with speech, thought, and action feel that they should be in a dominating, superior position over Black people. And that doesn't mean Richard Spencer or David Duke. That's your librarian, that's your school teacher, that's your police sheriff. That's
Hey, we got almost 500 people in here. We got 460 people in here. I'm gonna need all y'all to run and thumb up the video right quick. Thumb up the video right quick. Hey, and if y'all want, let's try to get 600 people in the chat before we end this thing. You understand me? Share the live stream. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook. Go share it. The share button right at the bottom of the video at the live stream. Share the live stream.
That's
what I can tell you that people who are white, we don't wake up in the morning looking in the mirror and thinking that we're white, and we're not having discussions about how to keep you down.
White supremacists do. Yes, they do.
So please explain.
That's not true. White people do think about how they should be in higher positions and get paid. You know, they feel like they got authority over us.
A white supremacist.
Sir.
So am I a white supremacist?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I really don't know.
You seem like, all right, that's the other thing too that I've really found about people who are African American.
Mm-hmm.
That they really are quite hung up on being African Americans, being Black in America. And I could certainly tell you.
How are you hung up on being a Black American? How are you hung up on that?
I'm not hung up on it.
No,
how that you are.
How are we hung up on it? What do you mean? Please explain that.
Listen, this whole discussion, are people confused about racism? to me, and most of the people in this room are African American, says something to me.
Aboriginal, not African American.
The culture, expecting people to actually have certain interests and vote a certain way because they have an African heritage. I'm not saying that you do, Tariq.
You're losing me. I'm kind of lost, sir. I'm a little confused. I don't want to be confused.
I'm really lost too.
Okay, let's bring it back.
I'm truly lost. So
that nigga talk so slow. Tariq got lost and he got lost. That's
explain white supremacy.
Hold on, no. Let's bring it back. You said we're hung up on being Black Americans. What does that mean?
I would say that in certain cases, not all, right, that there are people who literally are just talk about being, African and are hung up on this colorism. There's all sorts of things that happen within the African American.
Okay, Stuart, you got to be clear. I'm still not. I think you're trying to word your ideology. Just say what you mean. I think you're trying to politically correct your ideology. What should Black people identify as, in your opinion?
Whatever they want.
Okay.
Whatever they want.
Why did you say we're hung up on being Black American? I just don't know what you mean by that.
I've actually seen, I'm talking from the perspective of other people that are African American and don't necessarily feel that they fit in. There is, at least from what my girlfriend has told me, Black thought, there is an expectation that people have that you act a certain way and have certain beliefs.
Such as what? What did she tell you? What are these beliefs that she and other Black people are expected to have? What did she tell you?
Look, I realize that I'm generalizing. I am.
That's
all
okay.
Right?
But just what did she tell you? We're just trying to get what you've been told.
So for example, her father was an opera singer.
Okay.
All right. Because her father was an opera singer, people within her own community were giving her father a difficult time about being an opera singer. All right, because someone who is of African American descent shouldn't have an interest in that. All right, that's what she told me. Those are the words that came out of her mouth, not my mouth.
Okay.
So the other thing that I would really like to hear here, Tariq, is please explain to me about white supremacy. Please.
Hello?
I'm still there.
Hello?
Please explain to me about white supremacy. What is it here?
But look, let me back it up for 1 second about the operas.
Please go in on that. But that nigga voice funny, man. Hey, bear with us, y'all. I know the voice slow. Let's see what you got to say.
A thing, because there's so many foundational Black American opera singers that we've had. Paul Robeson, one of the most well-respected foundational Black Americans, he was an opera singer. So we've always revered our Black opera singers. There's so many. Marian Anderson.
I am well aware of it, and I am a fan of Marian Anderson. Okay. I think she has one of the most beautiful voices that I have ever heard.
Right. So.
All right. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying everyone who's an African American or a foundational Black American or however it is you prefer to identify yourself has the same opinion. That's, for me to say that is not fair to everyone who's listening here.
But let's go home 1 second about your lady. Your lady seems to have a lot of anti-foundational Black American views herself.
All right. I really can't explain that. I can't speak for her. But I would really, Tariq, ask you, you're talking about white supremacy, left and right.
Uh-huh.
All right, so please explain that to me.
Okay.
So please, I'm all ears.
Okay. Systematic white supremacy dominates all areas of activity. There's 9 areas of activity: labor, education, entertainment, sports, medical, sex, war, and I forgot the other one, but all areas is dominated by systematic white supremacy, and that is by design. And we are victims of white supremacy. We have not figured out how to replace that system with a system of justice. And it was a proactive system that they designed using the word white supremacy. That's not my word. That word comes from the dominant society. They spent years ingraining the word white supremacy into the public lexicon. In the education systems, they were using the word white supremacy. Supreme Court rulings, especially the Dred Scott decision, they keep using the term white supremacy, Black inferiority. All of the forefathers, almost all of them, used the words white supremacy. All of the statues, these Confederate statues around the country, were built in honor of people who used the words white supremacy. So, white supremacy, again, by their own admission, by the cultural significance, they've dominated all areas of activity. So that's not something that we've made up. They have went out of their way to let us know.
So
dominated by white supremacy.
Here's the thing.
Let us know the thing.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
All right. You are just, I'm well aware of the history of our nation.
Uh-huh.
All right. And I've actually gone as far as to literally dig into the history from an African American perspective.
Oh.
I do understand that Abraham Lincoln, for example, is not the person that a lot of people revere for ending slavery.
Oh.
Hello?
There you go. I didn't do anything. Go ahead.
Hello? All right. The Civil War actually started between states' rights. Abraham Lincoln actually was a moderate in his own party. And he was actually said that the way that someone who's African is equal to me is the sense that they toil to survive. He also said that he believed that Black people should be free, slaves should be free, but they should be free to live in their own colony and not in the United States. All right? That is an historical fact.
Abraham Lincoln also said he thought that Black people were inferior, and he said that if he was going to assign superiority to a race, that was going to be to the white race.
And you know what? I'm not surprised.
Okay.
Based on his own history, I'm not surprised.
Okay, so you're making it seem like he was talking as if he was some great equalizer, and he was not.
No, I'm actually talking that he wasn't.
Okay.
All right, so I'm saying that if he's saying African slaves should be free, but they shouldn't be part of America, they should go someplace else.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that means that he didn't want the slaves around.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I said. We're in agreement here.
Okay. And
so why is it? All right. So I do understand the history of this nation. I do view, for example, the expansion westward and taking the land away from, the first peoples as genocide. Okay. And it is genocide. They don't necessarily acknowledge that in the history books as genocide, but they do. It is. I don't know what else to call it. All right. But, and I do understand that because of our history, you know, for you as African Americans, things are not set up in your favor. I understand it. And I'm not disagreeing at all. Okay. But to make it seem as if, you know, we as white Americans are, you know, one way or another trying to hold you down now, that is not the case. If anything, I can tell you, I would like to see equality, 100% equality in this nation. I would like to see everyone be able to move forward in their lives, live a good life, and prosper. Okay. Now you said, you just acknowledged that, and you tried to put it in the past, that, yeah, there was racism in the past, but white supremacist society is not trying to hold us down now. How do you set up a system of oppression and let that system work on autopilot and then claim that you're not trying to oppress the people that you set the system up to oppress? How does that work? You just acknowledged that you set the system up. The system of anti-Black oppression was never dismantled. Please. You're saying you. I'm talking about as if your category, you're actually lumping me with them. All right, please don't. Okay. When I say you said, well, we're not oppressing. Well, the white supremacists are. And again, I don't know if you're a white supremacist or not. I'm not saying you are. I'm suspecting you. I suspect. I'm not, you know something? I'm not saying you are. White supremacist. Okay, somebody, Stuart, has to be a white supremacist. Not saying you are. Not saying you are. Somebody, okay, finally, an acknowledgement that I'm not. I don't know if you're not. I suspect you could be, but I'm not saying you are. You're making the assumption, suspecting that I am. No, it's making. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's a suspicion. Yes, it is. Sir, yes, it is. Somebody goes to court. Yes, you are. You're claiming that I'm. Wait. If a person goes into a courtroom and they're a suspect, that's not an assumption. You're sitting that person down, the suspect down, so that you can get to clarity. So you can make. So you're muting me again. Thank you. I want you to hear me. Now, I'm letting you talk, but I want you to hear me. We got to get clarity. Now, when did the system of white supremacy and anti-Black oppression get reversed? When did this happen? I'm not saying that it has. Okay, so we are still under a system of white supremacy, sir, correct? You know something? You're not the only ethnic group in this nation that's oppressed. Oh, Lord, all oppression matters. Are you doing the all oppression matters? The oppression Olympics? Are you doing that, Stuart? Oh, please, stop it. Stuart. I'm just pointing something out to you that's the truth. Stuart, what of the group was Jim Crowed and enslaved in this country? Like I said, I'm well aware the history in this country. The people who are Asian American, they were discriminated against too. Stop it. We're talking about in the 1800s. We're not talking about now. Sir. We're talking about the 1800s. Sir. They came over later and got jobs when the country was already built. Sir, are you trying to, and let me tell you something, there were Asian slave owners, okay? In North Carolina, some of the Asians came over and they were enslaving Black people too. They got right with the white supremacists and got on the anti-Black train. Some of these Asians came over here and fought to not have to go to school with the Negroes. They fought to say, hey, we want to be white just like you all.
Okay, if we really want to go there into the history section.
Excuse me, so did my grandmother.
So did your grandmother do? What did your grandmother do? Oh, the one who was passing for white? Okay.
Yes, the one that was passing for white.
Right. And
yes.
Okay.
All right. Listen, I understand that the system is not in your favor. I agree with that 100%, Tariq.
It's not only not in our favor, it's deliberately designed to not favor us. It's not something that accidentally happened. You're saying, Stuart, as if it was some kind of accident. That's
not.
Somebody designed that system, Stuart.
It's not.
Okay, so let's not talk.
I understand that.
Okay, so
but I'm just asking, all right, how are we going to change it?
By being honest about it, Stuart.
And I am.
You're not quite, Stuart. You're saying that we're putting too much on it. And you're saying, well, what about other people? All oppression matters. That's dismissive, sir. That's dismissing the anti-Black culture of white supremacy that dominates this country. Right?
You're calling it white supremacy.
That's what they called it, Stuart.
Yes, that they may have called it that, but I'm telling you, at least as someone who is identifying as a white American, wasn't aware of it.
Who wasn't aware of it?
Me.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not, and it's not right. And I'd like to see it changed.
So why are you not going out there changing it, Stuart?
I'm doing what I can as a person.
Okay. Do you think changing it is having sexual relations with Black women? Do you think that's your form of social justice?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Because a lot of times when people are in these interracial relationships, they think just their presence with a Black person in a sexual position is some type of sexual equality or social equality, and that's not the case.
Oh, good Lord. Again, you know what? I appreciate that you allowed me to speak. I really do.
Okay.
But you know what? I really do feel that because I identify as a white male, you're making assumptions about me.
What assumptions do you think I'm making about you, Stuart?
Just the whole way that you've been speaking to me all along.
Stuart, I've been so extra polite. I've let you speak. I've not accused you of anything. Haven't I been very polite with you, Stuart?
You know what? I want to do everything that I can as a fellow American to help you out. I just want to say that. All right. Yeah, every time I open my mouth, you've challenged me, which is fair.
Right, but when I just want clarity, when you'll say something, and then I'll ask you to elaborate to give us more clarity. It's all about clarity, not even a challenge, just clarity. I just want clarity.
And you know something? I've done my best to give it to you.
There we go. Right. All right, well, thank you so much, Stuart. I appreciate your call. All right. Okay. The topic, ladies and gentlemen, are people confused about racism?
Hey, so hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button.
That's why people have a problem with it. You can't finesse that term. With African American, Charlize Theron is African American. Elon Musk is African American. Our brother Claude Anderson, there's a clip of him talking about how dangerous the term African American is. I got to find that clip. But this is why, ladies and gentlemen, it's important to use the term foundational Black American. Very important, so that people won't remix stuff. But that was a very interesting conversation. Very interesting conversation, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad y'all had a chance to listen to that. Very, very interesting. All right, let's get some more people on here. Hold on one second. I'm looking at a bunch of stuff. All right, let's get a bunch of people on here. Let's get some more people here. And by the way, y'all can get my book, Foundational Black American. Rick.
Blacks, you shoot yourself in the head. You know, because if you say African American, the first human beings came out of Africa. Anybody on earth that comes to America is an African American. You can be white, come from Europe tomorrow. You're an African American.
That makes total sense.
And see, and that's the first thing that hurts. So you can't. That's a very, very broad term.
Hey man, we got 494 in the chat. I want to say peace and blessings to everybody in the chat. Make sure y'all hit the like button. I want to shout out some of the people that took the time out to donate to the platform and supporting the Dollar Challenge. Shout out to Leonardo. Appreciate you, big brother Leonardo. And shout out to Diane Walker. Shout out to Diane Walker for the Cash App donation as well. For those that want to donate, the link sticking at the bottom of the screen. Let's continue this live stream.
American, anybody can be African American. Okay. Secondly, why is Native American important? Because this nation owes Black folks. 98% of all the Black people in America were here before 98% of all the other people ever arrived. Those Native Blacks, and the reason I say Native because they took them out of Africa, they stripped them of their Africanness. They took away their names, everything, their culture, their history.
Nigga, what? Who the fuck is that, Clyde Anderson? Oh, bullshit.
And they have a seasoning process for a slave. 3 months was a breaking in to being a slave. And he could no longer be identified with African anything. He was just Black, period. But see, and so the government right now owes Black people, Native Blacks. They don't know African, they don't know African anything. If you say you're an African American, white say, shoot, I don't know. We never enslaved in Africa. We enslaved Blacks we got in here. They weren't Africans.
See, this is the ideology of a lot of the ADOS brothers. You see what I'm saying? That's why we gotta step on that.
Go call Jesse, because I'm not African American, I'm Black.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you so much, beloved. Now, first of all, his lady's not an FBA. I can tell that's not an FBA lady. That's why she has all of this kind of vitriolic narratives towards foundational Black Americans. All of these stereotypical, if I talk articulate, other Black folks don't like me. Foundational Black Americans don't go around talking that. And just the fact that she would get with him with those ideologies, that shows she's not FBA. You understand? That right there. And also, I wanted y'all to catch the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, this is why it is so, so, so important to use the terms foundational Black Americans, because it cannot be remixed. They can remix all that other stuff, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we, as foundational Black Americans, never use the term African American. We do not use the term African American. That has been a trick bag term ever since it was introduced by Jesse Jackson in 1984. That right there is why. This is a masterclass on why. Because when we're talking about compensation and reparations, Mr. Stewart, who was a white man, he immediately said, well, hey, I can trace my lineage back to slavery. I got some African in me, you see. That's why even descendants of slavery, we got to watch that term. That's why that ADOS thing don't work. Because they can get that too. They can remix that. A white person can say they're a descendant of slavery, just like he tried to do. these terms matter. This is why we got to Trump type these terms. He said, I'm a descendant of slavery too. Which technically, yeah, he could go there. But when you say, hey, I'm a foundational Black American, they can't remix that. That's a very distinct term going to the founding of this country and your current status as a Black person. So that just covers everything. That's why so many people get mad at the term FBA. They get mad.
And they get upset with the term Aboriginal. Because a lot of these African talking points, we're all the same, doesn't work. You see what I'm saying? And we got to start challenging the narrative at all points. And I appreciate y'all for getting on code, and y'all know what's up, because a lot of foreigners are speaking on behalf of us.
At the term foundational Black American, because it's a locked term. Nobody can fight American. Our brother Claude Anderson, there's a clip of him talking about how dangerous the term African American is. I got to find that clip. But this is why, ladies and gentlemen, it's important to use the term foundation. I'm glad y'all had a chance to listen to that. Very, very interesting. All right, let's get some more people on here. Hold on one second. I'm looking at a bunch of stuff. Let's get a bunch of people on here. Let's get some more people here. And by the spectrum of the Africanness.
Oh yeah, I think I actually went back too far.
Timeline. If you want somebody that's African American, go call Jesse, because I'm not African American. I'm Black.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you so much, beloved. All right. Yeah, Stuart. He act like he talking about he don't know where his lady is from. He know good and well that is not an FBA. That's not an FBA woman. That is not an FBA at all. At all. All right. Let's get a couple of more calls in here. Y'all raise your hand. You want to get on your phone ready? Raise your hand. And by the way, the book Foundation of Black American Race Baiter, available right now at Amazon, best-selling book. This
deal with it a lot, especially myself coming from Philadelphia. Now I'm in NC. I get a lot of it. You know, they just deal with you, but then they don't deal with you. They give you that friendly vibe, but then he's like, oh, keep it at arm's length. You know, they try to hide it so well, but I see right through it. You know, it's amazing, man. But thank you, brother, for everything that you're doing. I got your book. I'm still reading your book again, and I'm enjoying the book and everything that you're saying in the book. I've experienced a lot of it being on this planet for many, many years, you know. So thanks again, brother, and you have a good night. God bless you, man.
Thank you so much, brother. And Stuart, let me tell you something. You go to Stuart's page. If you go to Stuart's page, he has a lot of like half-naked Black women on there. So Stuart has like a Black woman fetish. There's like a bunch of like Black woman porn on his page. So, you know how that goes.
That nigga Stuart.
Stuart got a lot of naked Black women on his page. So he fetishizes Black.
That's the white man who was talking slow, by the way. That nigga got a craving for Black women.
So he got a whole little plantation thing going on that page. All right. Jean Gray, pop on in here.
Hi, thank you. Sorry, my heart is racing. This is probably the biggest room ever. So I'm a little bit like, whew. Okay. I'm gonna ask you a couple of things. So don't take offense of anything I say. I'm just very blunt.
Okay. Now, first of all, Jean, now where are you from? First of all.
I am South American.
Okay.
I won't say exactly where.
Now, why not? Why not? Well, no, you're not going to doc. Now, what part of South? Brazil, Colombia?
Actually, yeah, the second one. That's me. Yeah.
Okay. Go about the
So,
name.
yeah, in our country, I don't know if you've heard of like the different type of like demographics that we have. It's incredibly diverse.
Yeah. But y'all got a lot of the Black people on the other side of the country, though. I know that.
Yeah, the Cartagena and Santa Marta.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, yeah, like that's like, yeah, we do have like regions that have such diversity. The coast is usually very strong Black community.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there before.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And then we have like a strong indigenous community, like in various areas. But my question is, isn't using sort of the differentiation?
Okay. Your phone is kind of this. Your phone is going into that.
Sorry about that. Is it better? Is it better now?
It's better. Yeah, go ahead.
Perfect. Okay. Isn't using foundational Black American and sort of creating cleavages within, I'm gonna be blunt and say within the Black community in the United States further exacerbates racism?
How so?
Well, because you used a very interesting word. You said we don't want to open up our culture to so many different groups and we want to gatekeep. Isn't that somehow really similar to the way white supremacy has kind of gatekeeped access to certain things? And isn't that also a propensity to create racism within a group that, because of the physical appearance of, you know, what people assume, like for instance, when I look at communities of white people, I don't know where the heck they all come from. I just kind of like categorize them all the same. Same thing with Latin American people. We kind of place everyone, okay, we say, oh, you know, Latin American people are all like their experiences within a certain larger collective community are going to be relatively the same because of the way people are externally validating that presence. So when you say foundational Black Americans and you made fun of that gentleman that came in and his girlfriend, I just kind of caught on to like that last part. You're essentially creating racism also in your community. Sorry. You're also essentially creating racialized types of gatekeeping within your own community. I mean, isn't that like, that's why I'm confused about racism, because you are, if you go on and make fun of like other Black community members because they're not foundational Black Americans, but maybe they came from Africa, they became from like.
Wait. Let's stop. You say making fun of. Who are we making fun of? Let's stop there, because you're saying stuff now. Like, this is what I do. If you say something, you have to stand on it. All right. We don't let people say stuff and then just kind of run. Okay. You drop something off, you're gonna have to pick it up. Now, who are we making fun of? Turn your microphone on.
Oh my God, sorry. I was talking to myself.
Oh, that's okay. You're kind of rambling.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So what I'm trying to say is, isn't the use
Hold on. Wait. Gene, over here. Turn your microphone on and wait. Okay. Over here, your words have to be right and exact. If you say something, you're going to have to elaborate on it. You just can't say something that's false and then run.
Okay.
You said we're making fun of Black people. Who are we making? Who did we make fun of?
The lady that was with that guy. I caught like the last couple of minutes, but there was like poking at the lady, at the woman's sort of like identity. Like there's a lot of identity politics creates cleavages.
Okay, listen. Did you listen to the conversation? That woman, who's clearly not FBA, her ideology about foundational Black Americans are negative. Did you hear that part of the conversation?
No, I heard your interpretation of it, but I was wondering why. Why she's.
So wait. Okay, so you agree with Stewart then, if it's my interpretation. Do you believe that Black people don't talk in an articulate way? Because this is what Stewart and his lady was saying.
No, I did not say that. I did not say that. I'm just saying the use of FBA versus Black or African.
Ma'am, Jean, you said my interpretation as if I'm incorrect. So I'm asking you, I'm going to ask you again. Stewart and his lady, they said that Black people are not articulate, basically. Do you agree with that assessment?
No, I don't, because you're very articulate.
Okay. So this is not my interpretation then.
No, I wasn't referring to that. I was referring to the actual term of foundational Black American versus African American.
Right. Okay. Because we're not African. We don't live in Africa.
I completely
understand. So that's why we use the term foundational Black Americans.
Okay.
Jane, why don't you use the term African Colombian?
1 second.
Because Colombia was a slave colony full of African Black people.
Yes. We have like different kind of
Okay, your phone.
Sorry, I know. No, that was actually just me. I'm trying to articulate what I want to say because I'm still translating in my head.
Okay. Let me ask you. Okay.
I'm trying to say that I think when we start sort of creating cleavages, even with them.
Okay, this is not how this works, Jane. When I ask a question, you don't go into a whole monologue. This is not the monologue hour. If you say something, Jane, you're going to have to stand on what you say. You said creating different ethnic groups creates a cleavage. Are you a Colombian? Do y'all create a cleavage by not calling yourself African Colombian?
What?
Colombia
Yeah.
was an African slave colony full of African people at one point.
Yes.
Okay? Why don't the people call themselves African Colombians? They just call themselves Colombians. Why?
Because we don't have these types of divisive categories in Colombia.
You do have those. There are white-skinned Colombians and black-skinned Colombians, but everybody calls themselves Colombians.
Yeah, because within the country, if you go inside the country, the identification is different versus when you leave the country, the identification becomes another thing.
But everybody calls.
Shout out to Sabby G in the chat, man. We had 3 hours. We're about to get ready to wrap this live stream up here in just a second. Shout out to Sabby G, the cash out donation. We appreciate all the support. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Make sure y'all share the live stream. Give it one good share. And go thumb up the video if you haven't did that already. Appreciate everybody for coming in. If you ain't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Let's continue.
Themselves Colombian. Okay.
Well, in Colombia, if you're from the coast, call themselves costeños. Okay, if you're from the indigenous places, you call themselves indígena. Like people identify and like.
But notice nobody calls themselves African Colombians. Nobody. Not one person over there calls themselves African Colombian.
Completely understandable. Yeah.
Right. So with that logic, why should we call ourselves African American?
So what do you call the people that come from, let's say, Ethiopia and migrate to the United States?
Ethiopian Americans.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So I'm trying to understand when you were discussing sort of that gatekeeping aspect. What were you referring to?
Gatekeeping meaning we have a culture that's distinctive and we shouldn't let people disrespect it. For example, if a Black American actor were to play President Bolivar in a historic piece, what do you think the people of Colombia will feel about that?
I don't think we take offense. I don't.
Yeah, they would. They wouldn't go for that.
I mean, we take offense if like the accent is bad, like if the person can't speak Spanish.
Look, if it was a non-Colombian, they would have a problem.
Yeah, we have an issue if it's a non-Colombian.
Exactly. Just like other groups. If you are portraying their icons and it's not somebody from that lineage, they have a problem with it. So we're saying the same thing. We have a culture and we want to make sure that people.
And I'm gonna end the video right there. And and I'm gonna piggyback off of that. Like I said, if a lot of people act like we don't have a culture, we don't have to piggyback off of Africa. We're really not even associated with Africa. Africa is embraced with our culture that organically formed here. You know, as foundational Aboriginal or so-called Aboriginal Americans, we got to understand what we're doing here. You know what I'm saying? We got to start stamping what is ours. You know what I'm saying? We got to start taking ownership of the culture, and we are the culture. Because everybody else is exploiting it and using it for their benefit and then making claim to their nation or where they're from, like he just illustrated. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Hey, support the channel, man. For those, I see a couple people asking where the link to the donation. It's not a link, it's the name. The tags to the Cash App is ticking across the screen. So let's continue to build. Shout out to Chief Holiday, man. Shout out to Chief Holiday. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I believe one of the sisters that was just now speaking to Tariq was the sister FBA Goddess. I believe she be in the chat as well. So shout out to her bringing that narrative in as well. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We about to get ready to get out of here. Make sure y'all drop those fire emojis in the chat. Make sure y'all drop those fire emojis in the chat. The more you get into y'all information and lineage, you're gonna start you're gonna really understand that you're not African. You're not even a distant African. You're not even a descendant of Africans at all. You've just been misclassified from your Aboriginal heritage to becoming Negro, colored, Black, and now African American. And we'll get into that, you know what I mean, maybe on another note. But with that being said, we about to get ready to get out of here. Peace and blessings to everybody in the chat. It's your brother Aboriginal Power. And we out of here, man. Make sure y'all enjoy y'all day, man. We gone.
Suave on the track. Whatever it takes. Alleyway. Coco, this your season right now. They won't see me. They won't let me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I put attention, all of my blood, all of my veins. They started with Perky, now that hair by numb his veins. You started with serving, now them drugs drove you insane. Started with Dylan, I grew up with killers, they taught me the game. I got some niggas that die behind, and that shit won't never the same. I know some niggas that lie behind, and that bullet had his name. Ain't no reason to cry about, cause that shit won't never change. MTF the 4th and P, my niggas can't get out the game. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stern. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stern. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah.
Lost see, I glossed to, we shit ain't been the same. Heard the ops talking to the feds, giving names.